hold it, drop, you can't ignore it. I'm transforming now these cars and planes, I'm always boarding. Just out touring down in Charlotte like I play for Hornets. When I'm performing, never boring, now you can't afford it. Champagne Perrier, finish friends on my face, looking like I'm from the D. These no Cartier.
Welcome to Garena Masters Season 8. This time, we are raising the stakes with Mercy Veto, a new map bans and pick system that may just turn the tides of battle. Mercy Veto gives losing teams a chance to influence map selection, making matches more competitive and comebacks more possible than ever. Let's go over the best of 3 Mercy Veto process. The winner of the coin flip decides if they want to be Team 1 or Team 2. Team 1 bans 2 maps from the Hardpoint map pool. Then, Team 2 bans 2 maps as well. The game will take place on the remaining map. Team 1 will choose their starting side. For Search and Destroy, each team bans 1 map. The losing team of Hardpoint chooses the map for Game 2 from the remaining S&D map pool, and the winning team of Hardpoint will choose the starting side. If the series gets tied 1-all, the losing team of Search and Destroy chooses the map for Control. Since we only have 3 maps in the pool, there are no bans. The winning team of S&D will choose the starting side for Control. And that's Mercy Veto. More competitive, more comebacks, and more excitement.
I hit record a drop, you can't ignore it. I'm transforming now these cars and planes, I'm always boarding. Just out touring down in Charlotte like I play for Hornets. When I'm performing, never boring, now you can't afford it. Champagne Perrier, finish friends on my face. Looking like I'm from the deep. These no Cartier.
Welcome to Garena Masters Season 8. This time, we are raising the stakes with Mercy Veto, a new map bans and pick system that may just turn the tides of battle. Mercy Veto gives losing teams a chance to influence map selection, making matches more competitive and comebacks more possible than ever. Let's go over the best of 3 Mercy Veto process. The winner of the coin flip decides if they want to be Team 1 or Team 2. Team 1 bans 2 maps from the Hardpoint map pool. Then, Team 2 bans 2 maps as well. The game will take place on the remaining map. Team 1 will choose their starting side. For Search and Destroy, each team bans 1 map. The losing team of Hardpoint chooses the map for Game 2 from the remaining S&D map pool, and the winning team of Hardpoint will choose the starting side. If the series gets tied 1-1, the losing team of Search and Destroy chooses the map for Control. Since we only have 3 maps in the pool, there are no bans. The winning team of S&D will choose the starting side for Control. And that's Mercy Veto. More competitive, more comebacks, and more excitement.
record a drop, you can't ignore it. I'm transforming now these cars and planes, I'm always boarding. Just out touring down in Charlotte like I play for Hornets. When I'm performing, never boring, now you can't afford it. Champagne Perrier, finish friends on my face, looking like I'm from the D. These no Cartier.
Welcome to Garena Masters Season 8. This time, we are raising the stakes with Mercy Veto, a new map bans and pick system that may just turn the tides of battle. Mercy Veto gives losing teams a chance to influence map selection, making matches more competitive and comebacks more possible than ever. Let's go over the best of 3 Mercy Veto process. The winner of the coin flip decides if they want to be Team 1 or Team 2. Team 1 bans 2 maps from the Hardpoint map pool. Then, Team 2 bans 2 maps as well. The game will take place on the remaining map. Team 1 will choose their starting side. For Search and Destroy, each team bans 1 map. The losing team of Hardpoint chooses the map for Game 2 from the remaining S&D map pool, and the winning team of Hardpoint will choose the starting side. If the series gets tied 1-1, the losing team of Search and Destroy chooses the map for Control. Since we only have 3 maps in the pool, there are no bans. The winning team of S&D will choose the starting side for Control. And that's Mercy Veto. More competitive, more comebacks, and more excitement.
Changing mag!
Press the button and the doors go up. That money clip us now, the new night looks like. Whoa, upgrade her diamonds, now her girlfriends are like. Whoa, I hit record a drop, you can't ignore it. I'm transforming now these cars and planes, I'm always boarding. Just out touring down in Charlotte like I play for Hornets. When I'm performing, never boring, now you can't afford it. Champagne Perrier, finish friends on my face. Looking like I'm from the D. These no Cartier.
Welcome to Garena Masters Season 8. This time, we are raising the stakes with Mercy Veto, a new map bans and pick system that may just turn the tides of battle. Mercy Veto gives losing teams a chance to influence map selection, making matches more competitive and comebacks more possible than ever. Let's go over the best of 3 Mercy Veto process. The winner of the coin flip decides if they want to be Team 1 or Team 2. Team 1 bans 2 maps from the Hardpoint map pool. Then, Team 2 bans 2 maps as well. The game will take place on the remaining map. Team 1 will choose their starting side. For Search and Destroy, each team bans 1 map. The losing team of Hardpoint chooses the map for Game 2 from the remaining S&D map pool, and the winning team of Hardpoint will choose the starting side. If the series gets tied 1-1, the losing team of Search and Destroy chooses the map for Control. Since we only have 3 maps in the pool, there are no bans. The winning team of S&D will choose the starting side for Control. And that's Mercy Veto. More competitive, more comebacks, and more excitement.
I hit record a drop, you can't ignore it. I'm transforming now these cars and planes, I'm always boarding. Just out touring down in Charlotte like I play for Hornets. When I'm performing, never boring, now you can't afford it. Champagne Perrier, finish friends on my face. Looking like I'm from the D. These no Cartier.
Welcome to Garena Masters Season 8. This time, we are raising the stakes with Mercy Veto, a new map bans and pick system that may just turn the tides of battle. Mercy Veto gives losing teams a chance to influence map selection, making matches more competitive and comebacks more possible than ever. Let's go over the best of 3 Mercy Veto process. The winner of the coin flip decides if they want to be Team 1 or Team 2. Team 1 bans 2 maps from the Hardpoint map pool. Then, Team 2 bans 2 maps as well. The game will take place on the remaining map. Team 1 will choose their starting side. For Search and Destroy, each team bans 1 map. The losing team of Hardpoint chooses the map for Game 2 from the remaining S&D map pool, and the winning team of Hardpoint will choose the starting side. If the series gets tied 1-1, the losing team of Search and Destroy chooses the map for Control. Since we only have 3 maps in the pool, there are no bans. The winning team of S&D will choose the starting side for Control. And that's Mercy Veto. More competitive, more comebacks, and more excitement.
It was a hot start on yesterday's broadcast, and I'm looking forward for more pumped up action for today. On the desk with you, my name's Warden. Alongside with me is Callie. We are the voices for today.
Oh, it's great to be back in Garena, man. The last time I was here, it was CDSI 2024, where we were able to cast Elevate. Happened to be winning the whole championship right about. Here we are once again with the champion of the 2024 World Championship, blessing us with dominant victories yesterday, and we're going to be seeing them again fight two teams where we already know it's going to be tough for the team that will be on the receiving end.
Oh yeah, for sure, man. And I mean, I got my scopes here locked in for the set of Elevate. There was a lot of conversations, a lot of topics in line. How much work have they been putting into inside of this game after they won the World Championship? And clearly, it is pretty evident if you take a look at the scoreboard that we had here between Elevate and the rest of the crew. They were the only team yesterday that came out flawlessly.
And not only about flawless, right? We just saw the first 100-point club membership just be handed over towards NM Thanatos. So that speaks a lot. This team, I don't think they are 100% right now. It's the start of the season. Everybody's still going to be a little bit rustic, to say the least, as they gear up for the 2025 World Championship journey that they will be having all throughout the year. But one thing more than likely that we saw was not just the best team in Garena and possibly in the world. Right? Or we're going to be possibly going into new rookies, super rookies. One player, in fact, being Girk from Ilinary esports, a team that came in from the qualifier stage, which hoisted in 90 teams from March 10 to March 16, Warden. And we're looking into teams needing to win 10 matches just to be here in the group stage.
Oh yeah, for sure, man. I mean, it was pretty tough. There was a lot of heartbreaking moments there. And the question remains, what were they fighting for in regards to this very tournament? Once you qualify, you get the fair share of the boastful prize pool of 25,000 US dollars here, and the champion will get 13,000 to be exact here, Cali. And moving over, once you qualify, it doesn't matter if you come out last or first, you get a fraction of it.
I mean, you're top 6 already. You're earning money at the end of the day, but what you want is the top 3 spot. Why? Because you will be invited to Garena Summer Invitationals, where 6 teams will be participating to determine who is the best on the region itself. Now, the map that they'll be playing all throughout, including the Garena Summer Invitationals, will be the format that we got here in Garena Masters 8. Hardpoint, S&D control. You love to see these game modes be done yet again. But we have a little bit of changes, right? Yesterday, you guys talked about Arsenal and Coastal, and I like the map, but I think we could have had the core maps be changed at least, just to not give Elevate any more favor when it comes to winning hard points, right? Because we're talking about series points here, Warden. You gotta win every map as much as you can to gain the highest points possible.
Oh yeah, I mean, if you take a look at the board and the overall pacing for the run for the playoffs, 4 teams will only make it to the next stage of the competition, so being able to claim every little bit of points would surely matter in the process. And now, you know, once you move inside of this competition, yesterday, again, there was a lot of rust involved, but I'm kind of expecting a lot of these teams now warmed up, knowing for a fact what they have to prepare for in the battlefield.
Yeah, for sure. Now, we also have amazing attempt at this, right? Yesterday, we had some dominant matches, but half of which had to be played on map number 3, specifically Stalwart Esports matches. 2 of the teams that they matched up with had to go down to round number 5 in control just to make sure they get the job done, Warden.
Oh yeah, I mean, it took a while for them to be able to, you know, find the grass, especially since it didn't just end on at game number 3. It ended on a round number 5 for control. So a bit of a toss-up in there, but hey, you know, we are looking at a team that has always ever been so consistent to qualify for the world stage. So I'm not going to be totally surprised if ever they do change the whole narratives all around. Come again, this is the teams that qualified for the very game itself, for the very tournament. It is going to be on Ilinary Esports, Absolute Zero, A&M Thanatos, Stalwart Esports, and Elevate Puck.
Yeah, some interesting facts right here. Elevate, they are the 3-time Garena Masters champions. You got Stalwart Esports heading into this 7 seasons in, 8 seasons in, haven't won a single championship. So that's really rough right there for them, right? Let's see if they can change that narrative around as we take a look at our schedule here for today. They looked pretty shaky yesterday, but here they will be facing Arcanum Thanatos at Series 3 and Absolute Zero in Series 5. I'd say it's not going to be an easy matchup, so they better come in with their A game, because after that shaky matchup, people in the comment section going wild how this team has turned around.
Yeah, I mean, I can't blame everyone to get wild here. This is a very staggering run so far, coming in from the very first day. You move over to the standings itself, come again. You move over to Elevate Puck. They're completely flawless. 6 points, 2 series scores for them. 4 matches have been won. Our esports going to be on the trail with 4 overall points, 2 for the set of Absolute Zero, and 1 for both, for triple, for Ilinary Esports and Anthanatos.
You don't want to be at the bottom 2 at the end of this day. You want to get top 4 at least, because that grants you the chance to play in the playoffs and be a step closer to getting invited to Garena Summer Invitational. But Elevate, they've shown why they are the best in the world last year, and they have not really shown that they're not hungry anymore, right? I mean, they're so hungry. They want to eat horses right there. I mean, 2
Expensive.
games where they managed to absolutely dominate and to give Thanatos the first 100-point club in what seems like is going to be the worst map of Elevate in Slums. It did not look that easy for the teams to fight against them. Their map control just a whole nother level. And one thing more than likely, Warden, the new operator skill that they added to the bag. They replaced Claw and changed it to a Tempest. So a Tempest is much more faster in terms of charging. So they really want to get that operator cycle as fast as they can so they can dominate the hard points even further.
I gotta agree, to be honest, because the longevity of the effect of the Tempest has been truly a nuisance for a lot of these squads that likes to funnel up. And I gotta say though, if you want to counter Elevate, I mean, I feel like a Tempest would be the best choice as well, because, you know, once you get to see the push happen, you get one connection off the Tempest, and it's all gonna come down to the chain reaction, and it could really put a stop into a lot of these cohesive pushes that these teams loves to offer.
I agree with you on that. I mean, the Tempest is such an amazing weapon to utilize inside of a hardpoint map, knowing that Elevate plays like zombies. They're a zombie horde, and they're gonna smash you down, 3 stack, 4 stack inside of the point. So if you can just land that one Tempest bullet, yeah, you are going to be stunning a couple of players here and there, and that's going to be free kills for you.
Oh yeah, I mean, it was truly detrimental right there on the T2 slumps, where Susano was able to load it up really quickly and was able to close out that singular lane from the left side of T2, and he went to extend towards the right side and just closed it out as well. But now, looking like we are going to be heading straight towards the first series of the map, Vetoes. Cali, we got a new addition in the house. It's called the Mercy Vetoes. And I gotta say, I love this quite a lot. It gives a lot of opportunities for these teams to put up a comeback.
Easy comeback. You may have lost the first map, but if you lose match number 2, you get to pick the map where you are so confident at winning up against Elevate or Absolute Zero. So it does look like we have our map bans here already. Absolute Zero, they'll be banning Ashanda Hardpoint along with Slums, and that's just basically how you want it to be. You respect the Ashanda Hardpoint, which was dominated by Elevate last year, and that Slums Hardpoint where they gave Unk as well as Thanatos their big L's yesterday in the opening matches. Now for Elevate, they'll be banning their own Summit map. I don't know why that is. Maybe they are respecting Jibby as well as Yato in terms of this close-range gunfights along there with Freezy, but they sure do want to play Apocalypse on this map right here.
It is going to be questionable for me, but at the same time, I feel like I got to agree with your factors there. I think Yato, Freezy, alongside JB can really turn it up on a map like Summit. Forcing Apocalypse, I mean, I would say maybe back in the days, this was one of the most faulty maps here for the side of Elevate, but they were able to prove themselves quite well on the group stage, especially notably, we can't forget about it. I can't stop bringing it up against Galoris. They were able to show how dominating they can be in this map. So this is going to be pretty interesting. I mean, first set of Absolute Zero, I was able to go and see what they can offer as well in this very map. It is a bit of a toss-up, but hey, they left this one out in the open. Just got to hand this down to the pros.
Okay, now we take a look at the players that will be playing here, right? Again, you got the operators down there below. You still got a Claw from Absolute Zero Yato. And that's the only difference here. The Claw versus the Tempest. And who's going to provide more value out of it is going to be, the main important thing in how you play this Apocalypse Hardpoint. Because, P1 is always going to be back and forth scrappy. But once you enter that P2, where you're going to need the spawns and you're going to need to hold it down to score a Monohill, that's where this operators comes into play once you enter the second hardpoint rotation.
Yeah, in addition as well, we are seeing a lot more Death Machine action. It's basically a long-range equalizer, and you can definitely occupy a lot of those heavy lanes and holding down the spawns if ever you gotta do so. I mean, hold on to the hit glitch, get better positions, and the rest will live on. The rest, exactly the same as you mentioned. So, hey, operators could be one thing, gunfights as well. I can't wait to see who has the better day today.
I mean, I'm not sure about this. I think this might be the first time we might not have the War Machine on a match. I mean,
Ooh.
Kendi and Hydra, they're prominent. They are prominent War Machine users out there, Ward. And I mean, you gotta have to agree with me on that.
Yep.
So let's see how this one's gonna pan out. That looked to be, I don't know. We're just gonna have to wait as we enter the game just to find out if really they are going to be using the Death Machine over the War Machine. Because I'd want me a better attack over enemy, and you can see how much the explosions and the amount of routes that a weapon like the War Machine could do in the game is going to be felt, man.
Yeah, I mean, it's already starting here. In fact, we're already finished on the Hardpoint number 1, so rotation has now came along here on this P2, and it is going to be absolute zero so far, holding things down.
Holding things down. First 15 seconds of this P1 is how you want to try to hold this. Elevate is going to try to attack that stack, and you're going to have to defend it with all your might, and Yato and the crew are able to hold it down for a moment, but here comes the push coming through to Secret.
Yeah, it's now going to be Hydra here holding down the spawns, and it's a full clearance here from the side of Absolute Zero. Yato here on the front side, Hunter Killer Drone flies by. 5 opportunities up front, going to be able to get 2. Freezy as well, and the claw gets popped. Going to be early definition here for the side of Absolute Zero.
And just could not hold on for it for too long because he just got taken down there. Absolute Zero still that's managed to get a great job on holding that point. And now Hydra is going to be bringing out that War Machine to just stop the push through Secret. So Elevate has nothing to do here but to just contest and hope that they can bounce back on that P3.
Oh yeah, 2-man push here from the front. One guy here wrapping around. They are going to be able to force the spawn full split here, but the question remains, is it going to be enough though? They're only going to be selling for the scrap time. In fact, Absolute Zero is not going to be able to give anything out of it. So it's just going to be AZ here getting such a dramatic lead.
A dramatic lead it is. This is the first time we've seen a team take the lead up against Elevate. And a map historically where Elevate has managed to utilize this to win the championship last year. So it speaks a lot on how Absolute Zero has prepared themselves to win this battle right here. But Elevate starting to pick their pace up. They got some operators to get activated here. So that should help them try to clear off the point or just clear out the parameters where Kalo has managed to find the 2 kills to clear these players out. Force Absolute Zero to flip this spawn over, and now they got a main hold on this P3.
Yeah, beautiful usage of these operators here from the side of Elevate, but they look to get the remaining 30 as well to at least stabilize their ground. Kalo's gonna be able to find a double. He does get taken away. Rage is there for the trade. PJ puts himself into the mixture. Can pop the Purifier anytime. He does go for it. One contestant gonna be inside of the hill. That is gonna be Rage inside. PJ goes for the cut. He gets taken away. Freezy from the mid side, still able to get the breakthrough. And at the end of it, it is still gonna be Absolute Zero here on the front foot.
The gunfights are just so strong right now for Absolute Zero. I mean, they're handling it over there and also playing the point, which is the most important part about this. If you want to play up against Elevate, you do not want to give up that scrap time. And that's what AZ is doing. They're playing for every point like it matters. And that's how important it is for you to win up against this squad that you're facing against right now. But here's the catch, though. Moving on to the early rotation to P4, you will have to break through the defense of Elevate. And you're playing around the surroundings. Where do you want to take this? You're trying to route around the back to make a flank work. I mean, this is the best case for your team to find the elimination. So just going to have to work through it and get the back 30 seconds.
Yeah, PJ here and the rest of the squad from the side of Elevate incrementally changing the pacing of the game. But in the process, AZ with that valiant effort for them to wrap around, they do flip the spawns. Now it's Rage's turn here to take the spotlight. Double kill off the Sparrow. Players from the side of Elevate gets washed away. And it's just AZ so far in every single bit of Hardpoint, just getting the best out of it at the end.
That's beautiful clinical route there for Absolute Zero. They were patient in trying to flip that spawns. And once they were able to do that, Elevate could not do anything but just to try to stay alive as long as they can. And they did drop that P4. Absolute Zero has taken the lead on this first Hardpoint rotation. We're moving on to the P1 reset where Elevate is going to have that early rotation. They got a couple of operators brought out just to take some map control. AZ, once again, starting on the better side. They are taking it over, but they gotta have endurance because Elevate, they'll slam your face time and time again. So you gotta be able to make sure that your squad is going to be able to handle the heat up until that score reaches 250.
Yeah, massive stack here from the set of Elevate. Susano here holds down the Tempest, able to get a double on the feed. Spawns here still gonna be remaining the same. One player is gonna go for the cut. Freezy gets denied. So far, Elevate bound to get a full 60 here up inside of the hill. Player 3, Rage, tries to put himself into the mixture. But
What?
it is going to be an everlasting pinches that Absolute Zero is going to be able to offer, and they're just trying to ensure at least they put themselves into the scrap time.
Yeah, you just want to get that also as well. That this 15 seconds again, you give that to Elevate, they might score a potential momentum out of you. So it's just timely that Freezy is going to be right around the corner to play this. And again, I gotta remind you, AZ historically has 5 series losses up against Elevate. Dating from Garena Masters 6 and 7, their total map record up against Elevate is 4 wins, 12 losses. So although they may not have won series, they had 1 map. So they gotta just make sure that they get this mentality to carry over towards the following maps. They are killing it so far in this match.
I mean, it's going to dramatically increase the odds of Absolute Zero for them to be able to win the series up against Elevate if ever they can take this hard point now. But hey, you know, it will only be the mid-game that will be striking here so far. Now it's going to be Kalo extended now with an equalizer, able to get a double, but spawn definition remains to be the same. But this is going to be the hardest hole, the hardest fight that you got to put up. Going to be able to find a break here up inside of the hill, and the rest of the players from the side of Absolute Zero, they washed him away.
Yeah, it's still the value of that claw. You're feeling it. Look at Yato finding 2 kills with it. And Absolute Zero, again, claiming all the scrap time. Elevate could not win any gunfights at all. Elevate Kilo, who was godly yesterday, now feeling like he's a human. All of them aren't. I mean, that's the reason why, right? Maybe Kalo, one of the benefactor of this team, could not get himself together because of how great he was yesterday. And I guess they just woke up on the wrong side of the bed. Absolute Zero are just killing it right now.
Yeah, I mean, the weather's quite cold here, and it's pretty much affecting the players of Elevate now. The Hardpoint's going to be opening up with Elevate so far here, looking to get the first initial 15 points inside of the game. GB from the top side gets taken down. PJ able to get the trade. Player 2, Yato here, waiting for his teammate to form up and try to offer a pinch, and they look to seem to get the break once again.
It's just looking good. That's how you want it. They're also trying to zone it out with Hydra, trying to overextend and just try to cut out the players coming through Temple. Elevate are just, struggling. They keep on spawning, but they could not advance to the point. That has been a mainstay so far, and they're losing. Now you got GB with the equalizer. You're gonna suffer a lot of damage here once again, but you do get that last 7 seconds. This game still far from over. Elevate gonna get 140 points reached up. Now it's all about that P4. Are you gonna try to barge your head forward, or are you gonna try to flip that spawn over?
Yeah, really good effort here from the side of Elevate here to try to wrap around to at least force a split spawn, but it's not going to happen here, not just yet. Still going to be Absolute Zero getting no man's definition. Elevate's going to be trying to break from the front, and once again, Absolute Zero here turning it up. Hydra out with a war machine. Hunter killer drone flies by, and it is going to be Elevate here scrambling towards the mid-map, trying to flip the spawns because they know for sure they can't break it from the front.
Yeah, you gotta have to take your time. You're getting the back 30 seconds. That's the best case right here if you don't got the early rotation, but Freezy with the Purifier is able to get 2 eliminations with it. And Absolute Zero are just going to maintain that hold. They got only 26 points to win this match, and Elevate might have taken their first loss in Hardpoint for the first time since the Garena Masters 7 playoffs. That's been a long time, and that might just signal AZ. They are up there. They want to get this done, and they're so close to winning this HP map.
Yeah, if Absolute Zero can double things down here on this hardpoint number 1, this might just be the last and final hill here in this very map of Apocalypse. 7 more seconds to go before the hardpoint opens up, and if you take a look at the map, the players from Absolute Zero, they look to have better map control. Freezy from the top gets taken down. Candy is there to put himself in the mixture. War Machine will be available for investment. Kilo whips up an equalizer, and it is going to be Elevate still scrambling inside of the hill, but they're lacking topside control to get some definition.
Yeah, they're just struggling right now. It's just difficult. But Elevate, now you're starting to see the former team get right back into how they played. They're able to get at least a great hold on this B1, but you're going to have to take care of this attack from the flank from Freezy. That's just it, man. They clear off the point, but there's still a couple of players in there coming through chickens just to make sure that the contest is going to be felt. AZ, just a close step closer to victory. They can end it on this B1 should Elevate will not contest.
Well, if ever they can prolong this game, they got the players on the right side of the map. Never mind. AZ remains to be the same. In fact, it is more than enough for them to close this one out, but Elevate goes for the last contestment. They extend and prolong this game towards Hardpoint number 2. But if you take a look at the map, the game's pretty much stocked. It is going to be AZ rotated now towards the next Hardpoint.
Yeah, he got no chance at this unless you make the breakthrough parkour. You got Susano with the Tempest. He's gonna have to play a great role in winning this. They take down the players through the doorway, and now they're contesting inside of the point. They gotta take over the bars here this time, where Hydra is holding.
One more wave. One more wave. AZ, can we see it? Can we see the first ever loss of Elevate and Hardpoint? 202, 245. The break is on. Jimmy, the prodigy, puts himself, gets a clean wipe up against Elevate. And ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, we have witnessed it. Elevate dropping a Hardpoint map.
This is crazy. This is crazy. Oh my god. I mean, you gotta have to give it. You gotta have to give it, man. They won the map bans and picks. I mean, the best case for you to play up against Elevate is your best map, and they took the Apocalypse map. That's the map where Hydra is extremely efficient, and that's also a map where they gave historically teams a hard time. More specifically, Stalwart Esports back in Garena Masters 6 and 7. Now, remind you about the stats of Elevate entering this match since Garena Masters 6. They are 31 wins, 7 losses, 82% win rate in Hardpoint. And AZ just broke that. They just gave them their first L since Garena Masters 7 playoffs. So that's just insane. AZ, beautiful gameplay. They were able to outgun the guys from Elevate from the first and the second Hardpoint rotation. So they did their homework. Their operators were insane as well.
I am stunned for sure. Really stunned here. And it all really went down to the early momentum that Absolute Zero was able to claim off the rotation towards speed number 2. I mean, ever so long that we were so used to seeing Elevate late on the rotation on that P2, but was just able to break it from the front. But what Absolute Zero was able to counter with was getting really a good definition from the back, ensuring that the spawns doesn't get flipped. And yes, there might be a certain way where they're going to struggle to get the hill right back. But at the end, when you have that better spawn on towards Deep Temple, you for sure could have the better flow going back and track inside of the hill.
And that's one of the important factor how AZ won this, that P2. They held it on the first Hardpoint, they scored them on hill. On the second rotation, did the same thing. They did hold out at the very end where Elevate was just being desperate and trying to stack their players inside of the point. But regardless, when you have that P2 spawn and you're able to win your gunfights, you're guaranteed a Monhill on that P2, and that is just game-breaking. Absolute Zero. Beautiful start throughout the day to get this job done now. You're 1-0. You scored up against Elevate. Apocalypse Hardpoint, where Galoris did not even reach 100 points, perhaps.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just... wow. A lot of memories for sure in this map of Apocalypse. But there was, I feel like there was a core reason as well why Elevate banned this very map alongside Arsenal yesterday. I don't think they're as confident as they were, and yeah, I mean, it's definitely something that Olay is going to be worth considering in regards to what kind of difference can they offer inside of this very game. Because once more, you know, you dabble with a lot of coaches, you talk to a lot of great minds inside of the battlefield for Call of Duty Mobile. A lot of people would say that, you know, playing the Hardpoint as is on P1 is not a bad idea as long as you can format and try to get the deep spawns later on. But for the time being, guys, if you guys miss out the action, fortunately, we've got the highlights well ready for you. We'll be right back.
On the better side, they are taking it over, but they gotta have it.
You know, it will only be the mid-game that will be striking here so far. Now it's going to be KLOX definition remains to be the same, but this is going to be the hardest hole, the hardest fight that you got to put up. Going to be able to find a break here up inside of the hill, and the rest of Kendi is there to put himself in the mixture. War Machine will be available for investment. KLOX up the equalizer, and it is going to be Elevate still.
Just to make sure that the contest is going to be felt. AZ just a close step closer to victory. They can end it on this close step closer to victory. They can end it on this B1 with Elevate will not contest. side. They are taking it over. But back into the moment right here. Elevate just take a damn L on that Apocalypse Hardpoint, and you gotta have to bring in how amazing this team Absolute Zero is in terms of grinding this Apocalypse map. They really knew how to play it, man. P1, they are always able to find the counter to how Elevate plays it, especially that top P1 where they just kind of go around the flank just to take down the player on the truck. And yeah, pretty much it.
Well, I'm going to be pretty excited. What's going to be the possible respawn here from the side of Elevate? In the courtesy of the Mercy vetoes that we have here for Garena Masters 8, they will get the courtesy to actually choose what will be the map for game number 2 on Search and Destroy. But it is going to be a bit of a question for me here, man. I mean, I don't mean to question the champions. Not at all, man. I mean, they are still ever so highly #1 team in Garena. But if you take a look at the way the games played out on yesterday's run, Elevate struggled a bit against Absolute Zero. They have been pretty gnarly on Search and Destroy. So, hey, let's come and get it. I want to see that later on. But for the time being, I think we do have some post-game breakdowns happening here. But where the numbers come in, Cali, what do you think was the major issue that Elevate faced all throughout the very map?
I mean, it's that P2 Hardpoint, Warden. I think you gotta have to agree with me on that. If you lose once, it's okay, but you lost it twice. You could not get that early rotation. Yeah, you did lose it thrice, but it's just like the last 30 seconds of that P2. But if you do it twice, you're heavily punished for it. Because imagine, let's say a team gets 40 points off of P2 2 times. That's already 80 points, and that's huge. So if you may have lost the first P2, you should get that early rotation come by the second hardpoint rotation. So yeah, it's just it. I think that's where you gotta have to reconsider how you try to play Apocalypse, because trying to play the late rotate on a P2 point where it's unfair to have the spawns to be so close to the point, it is just going to be the adjustment that Elevate will have to make once they play another Apocalypse Hardpoint.
I want to bring into the conversation here, Jibby. I remember back then when, he used to play under my team that I used to coach back then in COD esports called Ragnarok. And once he was drafted to Absolute Zero, I had a lot of conversation with him. He talked to me about like how strong Elevate was and how intimidated he was. And look at this, bro. The first ever series that they had up against Elevate, this man not only put up one of the greatest impact out there, but one of the best finishes out there, getting a full 5-man sweep with the equalizer on the P3. Jibby, I know you are seeing this later on. I am absolutely proud of you, boy.
I mean, you just gotta have to give it up. GB, he played last year pretty consistently in Garena Masters. Now, given an opportunity to play at a high level against experienced team, where you got Hydra and Rage, who played in the World Championship back in 2022. Yeah, that's what these rookies need from last year, the sophomores and the super rookies that will be coming into play here later on in this Garena Masters 8, the Return of Champions. Now, first map, already said and done. The gunfights, I think, was the most notable part of this matchup right here, Warden. First hardpoint and second hardpoint rotation. I gotta tell you, Elevate was respawning and respawning all over again. It's unlikely of them, and this is where the conditioning, where starting off the season, that team is not going to be 100%. So you gotta have to give them a cut of slack, because hey, we're just starting the season. We got a long year ahead.
I mean, you did come out flawless on yesterday's run, so you can definitely afford to take a loss on one of the maps here for sure. Now we take a look at the post-game breakdown here, Cali. I know you love numbers. Take it away.
I mean, let's talk about it. Starting with that kills, 190 to 158. That's a big difference right there. And again, if you're playing up against Elevate, the worst thing you could give up against them is the last 15 seconds of a hard point where you try to set up next. That's what Absolute Zero did not absolutely do. They were playing the point up until the clock reaches 0. So they were really soaking up time and not allowing Elevate to get their scrap time that eventually after 4, 5, 6, 8 hills will turn into a 1 hill at the end of the game. So that's just it, man. Absolute Zero. They knew the ins and outs of the map, and they know their opponent, and they just stick to the script. they won this fair and square.
I mean, if some people would say maybe Absolute Zero elevated their way to actually beating Elevate, you know, playing the quote-unquote Elevate strat. But nah, I mean, I feel like you did say it is just a conditioning here that was just way better, and it was pretty evident there. Gunfights was pretty consistent for the side of Absolute Zero. So, hey, it could translate towards Search and Destroy, which is something that we're going to be seeing soon enough. I can't wait to see the Mercy Veto choice here for the side of Elevate. And if you was on the side of Elevate, Callie, which map do you want to force?
Me? Honestly, you don't want to play Tunisia. You were close to losing that map. I mean, close to forcing overtime, playing overtime up against Onk yesterday. I believe you gotta play something like Firing Range. I feel like you gotta play Firing Range.
I gotta agree. One of the
signature
most
map.
Yeah, I mean, one of the most important you know, tournaments all really had Firing Range for the series. And hey, we don't gotta keep on guessing anymore. We're heading straight towards the veto section itself. Let's take a look at the bans here. Looking like we do take away Coastal, and I'm not too certain what will be the ban here from the side of AZ. It's definitely not gonna be a hardpoint map. But if we look at the roulette here, Callie, which one is it gonna be? Is it gonna be Firing Range or is it gonna be
Kurohana?
Oh,
Okay, Kurohana. Standoff? No.
Nah,
I don't think Elevate standoff is quite there yet.
Oh,
But Firing Range is the best map that you can play up against AZ. Kendi and Susano know this map very well. And this is where you kind of swept so many teams and played up against the top Chinese teams in CDM. I mean, in CDSI, right? Remember that they matched up, had to win through Kendi's 20-kill game where he scored the finals MVP, all because of this map. So I do feel like Search and Destroy here. Firing Range is the best map to go and take a win. You got poked. Are you going to be angry? Or are you going to let yourself get tickled more by Absolute Zero on this map? Because one more lose, Warden, it is going to be 3 points that will be handed over to Absolute Zero.
Well, we are now looking to transition into the game itself. If you guys missed out the action on what happened between Absolute Zero and Elevate on that first game, shockingly, you get to see the singular point from the side of AZ. At the screen here, Hardpoint went to their hands. If AZ can show up as much as they did on yesterday's run for Search and Destroy, we're about to see the probable first loss of a series here from the side of Elevate, but hey, it's too early to call.
Now, remind you again, Warden, on a best of 3, on a best of 5, AZ has never won up against Elevate since Garena Master 6. They may have taken a couple of maps here and there, but they had a hard time closing out the series. Is it really the time for them to get a win up against Elevate and score one of the best underdog matchup? They're gonna strike us with 2 PDWs to start. Okay, it's Freezy with the PDW to find the 2 kills. No way. No way. You gotta write that on it too.
PDW, what with Freezy and Sabio rocking this one down. And look at the aggression here from the side of Absolute Zero, though. Mind this! Mind this! Who's playing offense? Who's playing offense? It's Absolute Zero!
Oh wait, what? It's AZ playing defense! But they play that one like offense. That's one of the classic plays of X-Rock, by the way, where they sent out Ma to play the Woodhouse, but instead of a sniper, they had a PDW to score 2 kills. Now Elevate's angry, they go in, barge that trailer side. AZ is gonna go directly into the enemy lane, but they all get flanked by Yopi, 1 Kenobi. Okay, Hydra on a clutch. Hell to the no. Halo getting that final kill, Warden. Elevate will tie it up.
Loki rhymes, Callie. Loki rhymes. Hey, lovely take there from the side of Elevate. They did go for the classic mid push and was able to wrap around to be able to, you know, get the pinch right there. Yopi massive 3-piece, and we see another aggressive take here from the side of Elevate, looking like they want to go for it.
Gonna take it slow. Again, Freezy with 4 kills on the first 2 rounds. That's gonna be impressive with a PDW. And this is something that they were trying to utilize on SNDs and scrims.
Freezy pushing up here, sprays down, spots Kalo inside of the side. But Kalo just committing towards the bomb plan. Freezy's gonna go for the chase down, but PJ's right there. Crossed your teammate, PJ. Rage coming in for the trade. Kalo doubles it down. Now, it's only gonna be Jibby. Prodigy all alone. 1v3, but Kendi puts a bullet to his face, and it's gonna be Elevate now here on the lead.
Oh, yeah, it is. Now, a little bit too ambitious there for Freezy to go out his way to take down Kilo on that bomb site, when in fact he could have waited his teammates to make a play before he attacked. Now they're gonna have to feel the price of it. Now they're down 1 round. First blood's going to be favoring Elevate as they get EOP inside of the trailer to find those 2 eliminations, opening up the A site.
Massive spray down there for Yopi. All eyes on Yato though, with a sniper in hand, gets the hit marker through the wood barricade. It's 3v4, bomb's gonna get planted. We haven't really seen a prosperous retake, not just yet here from the set of AZ. They're gonna be sending out 2 guys here on towards the mid cross perhaps. Yato looking and scouting and reconning this mid map. But it's going to be the sniper that will be the frontliner here from the set of Elevate. Kendi with a shot, make it a double, could be the triple, but Kalo beats him right to it, and it's now going to be Elevate here, up by 2 rounds.
Yeah, it is. 2 rounds, it is. That's just how you try to play it. If you're Elevate, right, you're on the attack side. You don't got to have to slow things down. If you're generally a team that knows how to play aggressive, you play through your strength. And you still got Kendi there to back you up. But here comes the dagger. That's Hydra taking down Sasano on this one.
Oh, MG42 for the side of Jibby here. Smoke's gonna get deployed. No, it's gonna be the nade. Concussion gonna be flying by towards jungle side. But look at how quick Elevate's gonna be able to respond off the defense there on the B bomb side. The Kendi's already pushed up to a very important position here. Any moment of time, Rage can just come across and he will bite the bullet off Kendi.
Bomb has been planted.
And you also get number 3 in yellow, in Kalo, playing the hideout there. So potential players that will look to try to make the flank. He's gonna get cut down, but Freezy earns the flank. But Kendi gets the kill to defend the back. Now they're gonna have to earn their way up to the front with Yopi losing that gunfight. It's all up to Kendi to win this with 24 seconds remaining, and now he is gonna get shut down by Jibby. Beautiful attack there for AZ Warden. You saw it, it was multifaceted. They attacked through the back while also having players pressuring the front. And Elevate, they were thinking all over the place. They could not hit their bullets.
Really good anticipation there off Jibby. Knows for a fact that Kendi loves to play on the jump shot, not a long. And it only took him 1 kill to put him down.
Okay. Now they're playing CDM. They're not going to pick up the bomb yet. It's a beautiful 20 seconds. That's so silent right there. An absolute 0. They're trying to play perfects. Why are you trying to play perfects through the middle?
Enemy has
Easy shot there for Kendi Warden. Now it's a 3v5.
Yeah. Now, both snipers gets picked up here from the side of Rage and Hydra. Jibby's going to go for the peek. Should be able to grab that information. Finally, a bit of a respondent here from the side of Absolute Zero. The concussion flies true. Yato has the opportunity, but misses the shot. And now it's going to be 2 players remaining here from the side of AZ. Freezy from the wraparound. Susano reads him like a book. And it's going to be Jibby once again in a very tough situation. 1v4, MG42 to Susano. Not a problem for him.
You can just rely on your snipers if things are just going south. Elevate, looking pretty good, man. Kendi as well as Susano, they're combining for 10. Same sniper kills as the sniper duel from Absolute Zero. That is going to be Idra and Yato. Now, let's see how this one pan out as we switch the sides. Elevate are going to be on the defense. And again, first bloods, it plays a big factor how you can convert it to round wins. So you do not want to get picked here if you're AZ. But have to play it smart. There goes the first hit. You take down Susano. Now you got a 5v4 on the first 30 seconds. And that B side is completely wide open.
Hydra longs to be the to have the titlement of the First Blood Reaper here, because so far has been able to get 2 so far on the feed. Gonna get some more here. Kendi is gonna be playing top 10. But look at the players of AZ. They're gonna be funneling towards the B bomb side. Only gonna be Kalo with a sniper, but that could be an understatement. Spots Freezy, relays that information. Not gonna go for the shot, not just yet. Hydra on the feed, finds 1. Kalo drops away. Could be the pinch offer here for the side of Jibby. Not a problem for him. PJ, Kendi now here, left, long dusted here. For the side of Elevate, a 2v5 situation. Kendi missing the shot. PJ's there for the refrag, but Freezy in the process gets the kill. A 1v4 now here for the side of PJ. 37 seconds left on the clock. 1 player wrapping around. It's going to be Jibby here.
Oh, no.
Smarting PJ. Could it be the case? Yes, it will.
Execution?
Easy kill for him.
Yeah, easy kill there for Jibby. 3-4 on the scoreboard. We are not that far off. And Absolute Zero, Edra, man, you gotta have to give this guy up. I mean, ever since he was not part of Smart Omega, he built his own team, created a beautiful system around him that allows him to shine on this search and destroy. And as soon as I say that, Kendi's gonna take him out. Beautiful trades, go back and forth. Now we got a tie game on the first 20. But Elevate, they look to try to play aggressive off of B, but only to get punished there by Freezy. And again, another view of that weapon. PDW is not something that you would try to bring out on a map, knowing that USS-9 as well as the Fennec is out there scoring so much damage in close range.
So far, back and forth trades here for Elevate and Absolute Zero. Freezy, Hydra out for the side of AZ. Kalo, Kendi on the other side. But look at AZ here. They are now trying to go for the commitment here on this ace side. The only line of defense that they got here so far is going to be Yopi off that sniper. Hasn't been really known as a sniper player, but looking like they have already made the call. And they're going to go for a rotation towards the B bomb site. They got a line up here. Where is this going to lead towards to? It's going to be directly inside of the site. No connection right there. But all eyes on Jibby. Has two opportunities from the back. It's going to be a split push here for the side of PJ and Susano. And Jibby, if the timing is right, should be able to grab it. Could be
number
a
one.
spray down on a double. Yes, it will be the case. Jibby once again taking the spotlight. Yopi all alone. The captain arrives and he falls on his deck. And it is now AZ forcing a tie game.
Oh my god! What a play there for Jibby at the back. The positioning where was just on time. Elevate was not checking their corners. Sometimes you just gotta have to pick it when you're trying to flank. But they just could not get it. Absolute Zero now. No opportunity to get that lead. First blood, though, is going to get sent out. Yopi's going to take the first kill. He will not get killed by Rage. So this first blood do matter a lot. We've seen teams, again, get that first blood and convert it to round wins.
Really good killer from Yopi. Taking away Jibby as early as this avoids a lot of nuisance of those possible alerts. Now, what's going to be the call here for the side of AZ? You got three players here trying to rotate now here towards the A side. Hydra's still going to be watching jungle if ever there's going to be two players that will be committing to go for the wrap around, but the rest will come through. They're not going to be holding down a pretty aggressive setup on that A side, but they do got PJ here watching this possible cross. Ray's going to go for the check, double chow right there, but in the process, he finds one. That's a pretty worth trade in my opinion.
I've already traded because you got mid-map control with Freezy in this point. Now you just have to rely on Hydra to make a long flank, and there he goes. He's just going around the back. He's taking down Yopi. Just got one more play around there. But this timing is just insane. He just immediately got handed that free mid-map opening. They can go towards that B site, but the guy that awaits them is Kalo. This guy has just been pretty silent. He just could not get any kills, but thank God for Susano as he gets a kill onto Freezy. That ties up the number.
Quick reaction. Kalo finally beats the player out on the B side. Susano here in the 1v1. And Yato finds the kill. Can go for the reset. Kalo backs away. Knows for a fact he doesn't have to rush this, but Yato has the bomb. Can go for that long rotation towards that A side. But instead, he might go for the B instead. No. Kalo, will he get the proper read? Will he get the read? No, he doesn't. Yato will have a clear sight and on his B side.
Yeah. Kalo's not going to get the full read, so
Bomb has been planted.
Yato, where do you want to try to position yourself after that bomb plant? I mean, you can go and hide out, or just completely fly at the back of the firing range. Kill's gonna try to hit it through mid. Got 30 seconds to play around. Cannot make any move here whatsoever. You're going up against a PDW. Fast fire it. Oh, the bomb is going to get defused. He is a pro. He doesn't fake. But at that moment, he thought that AZ was doing some sort of flank route to get the kill. Turns out it's not. Yato, beautiful 1v1 clutch. AZ finally getting the lead. 2 rounds away from taking a series up against Elevate for the first time in history.
Such a blunder there for the set of Kalo. He thought that Yato was going to wrap around, all because of the fact that the bomb was planted out in the open towards mid-connector. Now, take it slow, get a better read. If ever Absolute Zero goes forward that push on that A side, that will be the best call. But it's going to be Kendi with a sniper. Should be able to grab a lot of information in the process.
Kendi's going to be playing a massive factor here, but he's just pretty much smoked out, and you don't got any mid-map control in that trailer. So AZ, once that bomb gets planted, they're just going to put their resources inside of that area on the map. But a big shot for Susano Warden. Yato gets taken out. Now it's a 5v4.
Don't really have a lot of information, but Freezy off that mid cross, able to get one. Susano gets a trade onto Hydra. 2 players still. Hello committed on that ace side. On trailer. JB with a sniper. Can make some plays as well, but Elevate, they're taking this one slow, ensuring that they don't fall into the hands of AZ, not just yet.
Yeah, JB. I mean, we saw him step up and make the biggest plays. And let's see if he's gonna have enough mentality to take it over again. He's in charge of the back. They're aiming for an A-side hit. And Elevate's got 1-man advantage, so they need to find a trade quickly once this bomb gets planted for them to have an opportunity to win this round and be 1 round away from winning this. AZ, crucial round to take, but Kendi with the kill! In what angle? He took down Rage, now it's just a 4v2. Elevator pushing up.
Great attention here. GB's gonna be playing around the smoke as well. Kendi able to get the read. Freezy's gonna be all alone. The bomb's gonna get defused. And once again, the game's gonna be all tied up now. 5-0.
It ain't easy to get a win up against Elevate. Again, this is where we're gonna have to talk about history. AZ, they've been in this position where they're up 1-0. They won that Hacienda back in Green and Masters 7, but they could not finish that map 2 and 3. So let's see if history's gonna repeat itself, or is it finally their time to make a statement? Here comes the push on the A side with 5-man attacking. Sano is there to only defend. He's not hitting any kills. No shots. And they gave away the trailer side.
The bomb has been planted.
Now, big stack here on towards the trailer side. PJ comes across, relaying the information that it's going to be Rage. JB finds one. Yo, B is out. Massive fight of your lives. AZ, can they hold this one down? No, the bulk of the kills lies upon the Red Rebellion. And it's going to be PJ getting the last and final shot to connect, and we'll be able to secure match point
Not
advantage.
over yet.
Notice how what PJ did there. He knew that he was being shot inside of that trailer, but what he did is not to over-contest, because he knows that he is at a disadvantage when he tries to contest that trailer side. So what he did is focus on the long A, where he's got full control of where he can attack. And Elevate survives with PJ making a crucial route and maintaining that life count in favor for Elevate on that last round.
Force an overtime. Give us an overtime, please. But no, Kendi goes for the denial. Once again,
Oh
these two
my
has
God.
been going for the toss-up between the first 2 frags, and this time, at the most important round for set of Elevate, Kendi ups up and then able to get the double down there off Hydra. It's an early 4v5 here, not looking good for set of AZ.
Not looking good at all when you lose a first blood and you got Kendi. It's been a prime player right here. 14 kills. This is insane. And you're left with Yado to clutch some things. Down on this long A, but nobody really exposing themselves from Elevate. Great job hiding and letting the AZ players just try to make the decision and do the initiative.
Kendi able to grab one more information there on that mid-map. You take a look at the way that Elevate's going to be holding down the lanes, but in the process, Freezy finds a shot on Kendi with a sniper with a PDW. Now, it's about to go for the decision here. Make the call, make the read. Which side is it going to be? And looking like it is going to be the A side. PJ has a very cheeky angle. He should be able to bite the call already that it is going to be that A hit here from the side of Elevate. Gonna go for the spray. Yobi finds one. PJ finds 2. Last player alive. Jimmy finds the kill. Good old spray. But it's a 1v2 situation with the time drained away. There's no more time left to wrap around. No, Jibby makes the folly call, but he wants to go for the mid push. 9 more seconds to go. He has to go for the kills. He has to go for the kills, but unfortunately, it's just not enough. Halo shuts him down, and Elevate responds back with game number 2.
Yeah, they're still alive in this matchup right here. Oh, close call. I mean, Absolute Zero, I thought when they had that lead, they're going to be the ones fully steamrolling the competition, but it turns out it did not. They're still not yet ready to get the win. And it looks like history is going to repeat itself here once again, Warden. They've been here before in Garena Master 6 where they were up by 1 map. They played Search and Destroy, they fell behind. And Control is going to be the only thing that will decide the fate of these 2 teams. And the best part about this is that if you're an AZ fan and you want Elevate to take an L, you want this team to pick their best map. Right? I believe it's Crossfire. Might be Crossfire, or it might be Takeoff.
regardless, I'm pretty down. I'm pretty stoked to see what's gonna be the possibilities of this series here, Cali. And hey, in the courtesy of Absolute Zero taking that map number 1 away, Elevate responding back with their own game on Search and Destroy, we're gonna be seeing the first ever control game for Elevate on this Garena Masters 8.
Control Arsenal was one of their best maps last year. So many moments, so many highlights on it.
Highlights.
But yeah, unfortunately, it's not part of the map pool. And only thing that is going to be played is raid, something that they hate. And you know, sometimes you're just gonna have to adapt. Takeoff and Crossfire are two maps that rely so much on momentum. It doesn't matter if you have 2-0. If you have a bad start on that third round, you're pretty much going to be in trouble, right? But we're going to be talking about that later, right? Let's talk about the map right now and just what happened. I believe Kendi was the best player on this map. The sniper shots to take down Ithra on the first blood department is crucial for them to maintain the balance within the game.
And, you know, if you was to highlight Kendi there for set of Elevate, you can always talk about Hydra as well for set of Absolute Zero. I mean, these two was truly like the leading factors in how rounds really went into their favor. When Hydra was able to go get those first kills, we were able to see Absolute Zero running things down on that later part of, you know, those certain rounds. But once Kendi turned it up, and at some certain point, I think he was able to get like, what, 15, 16 kills inside of the game.
Yeah.
On that switch of sides, that was where we were able to see, you know, the players of Elevate just having more comfortability, because once you have that man advantage, you're able to just, you know, lock things down and control every lane.
Yeah, and again, they were so good at maintaining that first blood win percentage. When Kendi takes the first blood, they always find themselves at the end of the day winning it. And for Absolute Zero, they just could not bounce back on a 4v5 setting. So it's just tough when you're on the attack side because you get to dictate where that bomb will go. They just could not really play without a 5-man. And for those who just missed the matchup, come take a look at these highlights. We'll be right back. "14 kills, Warden, for Kendi to win that firing range search and destroy. I thought they almost lost it when AZ took the lead, 5-4 on the score count. But hey, Kendi's there, the Iceman. He's gonna take it over, win this matchup for the squad, and they are granted to play a control matchup. And the first blood, again, I think we're gonna have to talk about it once again, because when either lost it, everything fell apart for the team when they were on the attack side. They could not go in with the aggressive. I felt like when they were down on a 4v5, they were not taking any risks whatsoever. And when you're not taking any risks, there's no story to tell. The story that they told were them losing the map. Unfortunate. They could have braved it through, I guess. You gotta have the courage it through. On a 4v5, you gotta go and attack at least one of those rounds. You don't gotta have to play per picks. Because if you do, you're gonna get picked. And that's what Kenny did up against this team.
You know, one thing about Absolute Zero is that once, you know, they get picked off at the first hand, they like to play that, you know, good old CDM strategy of like occupying every lane on the defensive side as well, which leads them to more trouble because Elevate, they're pretty good in those 1v1. So if you really want to take away Elevate in any game modes, in any maps, you really got to find the means to set up those trades back and forth. And it's all just going to go to a toss-up between a 1v1 and 1v2. And those were the rounds where, you know, at the start, Absolute Zero was able to take away from Elevate. But hey, enough of that. In Control, let's talk about the factors here. Because truly, Control, there's 2 objective points. There's 30 lives in the mixture for both teams. How do you feel about going in towards this very map or, you know, a game mode here, Cali, between these 2 squads?
If I'm the losing team, I just lost that S&D, I'd pick my best map in Control. And if I am Absolute Zero, I think I will play best when I play Control Raid. Because that's something that Elevate does not take a lot of pride into playing aggressively. But let's take a look at our maps and see for ourselves what happened in the Search and Destroy and how Elevate won it. You can see it entirely from the kills that it's just plain and steady, right? It's squared up, not much of a difference. But what we can talk about is the qualitative data that we just saw from that match itself, Warden. How Elevate, even though they're down by numbers, they still go in there and attack the opponent and brave through and hope that they get 1 to 2 kills. Meanwhile, on the other side, when Absolute Zero was running down in numbers, they were not fighting back. So there's not that much opportunity that they could get, Warden.
Yeah, I mean, hey, we'll see and get it soon enough. But now, if I take a look at the way that, you know, both of these teams has been playing, you know, this Control game mode, Absolute Zero, still a toss-up for them. But that could just probably mean that, you know, I haven't really seen them in the most recent times. For the side of Elevate, I mean, you know, if you think that, you know, Hardpoint is one of those games that they can come out flawlessly in as well, ever since last year when we were able to see that stable Golden Road squad of Elevate, Control hasn't been a question as well for them. So I'm going to be pretty interested to see what's going to be the mix-up here between these 2 squads. But overall, it will all really lie down now towards the map choice. So far, we have been able to see a very one-sided map of Crossfire on the defensive side. On takeoff, a lot of map control is going to be needed, a lot of lurking for sure. And if you want a mixture of both worlds, want to play that raid.
I think you gotta have to play Raid if you're Absolute Zero. I think you are great at playing your strength rather than your opponent's weakness. I think we just saw that on the Apocalypse Hardpoint Warden. It paid off. The grind that they partaken to playing that map every day for weeks. We can even talk months. It's enough for them to shock Elevate on that map itself, where it's known as one of Alea's best map itself, right? So we go right back into it, right? See for ourselves what happened again on this Search and Destroy matchup. Again, 46 kills for Elevate. Absolute Zero's got 41. It would have been nice for us to have the first blood count as well, Warden, because I know for sure that played a lot on the outcome of this game.
Oh yeah, definitely, bro. Ever since, you know, we were able to see Hydra starting things off with the first bloods, Absolute Zero had the proper call, because I think in some way a lot of the folks out there, when they're watching the stream, or some, you know, particular people, knows for a fact that if it is going to be one player out from the side of Elevate early on towards a round, they still like to split around. So if you got that 5-man squad, you can just go for the commitment on towards any side and take the challenge from there. Obviously, the biggest breakthrough that you can face is getting by the snipers of Elevate, and which was truly a big factor on the win here on the series. I mean, on the game mode of Search and Destroy here. Kendi was popping off left and right, bro.
Yeah, 14 kills for him. Dominated the second half of the Search and Destroy. I think that's what matters the most, Warden. Yes, you can have an amazing start, but if you have a lacking S&D second half, you're gonna get cooked. And that's how Absolute Zero had it. But now we move into the life of this series. Whoever wins this control is gonna take it home. Absolute Zero, they lost map number 2, so they get to pick the map through our Mercy Veto feature. You can see it on the bottom side of your screen. Absolute Zero just took a Hardpoint map up against Elevate, but Elevate bounced right back off of match number 2. And we are still playing with the maps to see what kind of map are we playing. And it does look like earlier that it was a control raid, but seems like Takeoff is where we are headed, Warden. A map particularly in favor for the defensive side, but can be swingable if you have the right mindset, Warden.
It'll be tough for sure. A lot of map control is going to be needed here for this Takeoff map. And you know, one thing I kind of like about Mercy Veto here, Callie, because we don't get to see any map bans for control. So
yeah,
teams like Elevate, they got to learn every single bit of map. I mean, not like for a Hardpoint, let's say, because, you know, map still remains to be the same. You still get to ban 2 each. On S&D, there's going to be a lot more to be open as well. No one gets to ban 2 each. It's only 1, so there's going to be a wider map pool there. And I think that's like one main reason why Elevate was so consistent ever since like the last 2 years here, Callie, was just due to the fact that they can just take away and say that, okay, early season low kings back then, they just banned hacking all throughout the year.
Yeah.
Up next, on like Control, they took away raid consecutively every single time. On Search and Destroy, it was a bit of a toss-up, but moving forward, it does bring in a lot more dynamic preparation that you gotta put up in a game tournament like Garena Masters.
All right, it's time to decide the fate of these two teams. Will Absolute Zero finally get their first series win up against Elevate in Garena Masters history? Or will Elevate continue to repeat history? We will find out as we go back into the caster screen. It is amazing for us to make this game as much as possible the best viewing possible, right? And right now, I'm gonna have to wait here. I'm just gonna have to contest the map that AZ picked, because I feel like Great could have been a better map for them to play, because they're good in attack side, right? They are in a win-win situation. They win that attack side, they get Idra with that War Machine to play the B side defense, and Elevate. I mean, they are a strong team, but this is not their full form, and this is where you kind of had an opportunity to get them to be, you know, to get them damaged up, right? Earn them a serious loss or something. But yeah, I guess Takeoff is just something. Yeah, Takeoff is just something that they feel more confident in winning. I just hope that they're confident and not relying on luck, because if that's the case, it's going to be interesting.
I mean, I'm overall pretty much interested in the whole series that we have here. And mind you guys, this is the only first series for today. We got 5 in line waiting to happen inside of this we got, what, 6 series actually, to be exact. So if you're enjoying the show here, better make sure you guys are following the page and the YouTube channel of Garena here for Call of Duty Mobile, because there's a lot more things to happen. In fact, we're only talking about the second day of the group stage, so best believe it. Here we go. More actions up ahead. It's map number 3 between Absolute Zero and Elevate.
Oh god, first 5 kills in favor for Absolute Zero. And they are on the attack side, so it's just a matter of trying to earn yourself towards the enemy spawn. And that's number 3 in yellow in Rage, what's trying to do, but it's not going to get any opportunity off that no more. And Elevator slowly zoning up. They got Kendi on top side of the map, and they got PJ playing scaffolding. Now they have narrowed down the gap, and they might be possibly in favor in terms of the life counts in a minute now.
Yeah, I mean, pretty good opener right there from the side of Absolute Zero, but they're going to be having a hard time now trying to stabilize their ground in regards to the control of the map. I mean, so far we are seeing Elevate turning things around, and they look to be pretty consistent. But hey, JB on the wraparound once again loves to lurk here all throughout. Sprays down with a PDW, but can't hit the shot to connect.
Yeah, Elevate just now finally taking a full grasp of the moment. They're stacking all of their members at the bottom side of the map. Spawn trap, City might have just been activated.
Yep, they keep them all throughout. Yopi goes out. Yato is there for the kill. They're going to be putting more contention here in this A control point. Freeze is going to be extended towards the enemy lines alongside Rage as well. They need this one badly. In fact, the round's not over, not just yet. They might just be able to get the time and the lives that they need to continuously put up the fight here up against Elevate. Rage goes out. PJ Yopi on the feed, but in the process the capture ensues, but at the same time, Elevate takes back the life lead.
Oh, a minute and 12 seconds. You can slow things down. If you're AZ, you don't gotta have to rush through things, but Freezy wants to throw hands. He's gonna get picked off. It's a 6v6. Might as well turn it into a search and destroy. Absolute zero. You gotta have to take the top route. You gotta have to take the top route. You don't want to go down bottom.
5 lives remaining for the side of Elevate. They can play for the trade here if you are AZ. Go for the swing. Take the challenge, lower down the life count in the presses as well, but Yobi's gonna be able to come out alive with a very detrimental kill off Freezy. That machine's gonna be out. 3 feet for the side of Absolute Zero.
Wow!
Oh, Candy out. Absolute Zero putting up a banger, and it's now just gonna be Kalo here on this flank in a 1v4. Spots Jibby from the left side. Freezy goes away. Kalo stays alive. Oh my god.
It's not yet over, Warden. It's a 1v3. But the time is running out. AZ is capturing 3 stack. They're willing to play through it. Beautiful. That machine invested there by Yato to clean off the players on the top side. Kalo's gonna swing in a miss as Yato hits a homer on that round number 1. And that's the best thing on that round. You were able to get the capture on that A side. You were able to get your team that extra operator to propel you to get the kills remaining on the first round when you're on the attack side. And the best part about it, Warden, is that they took the top side instead of attacking the bottom of the takeoff map. So that means they had power positions instead of checking corners. AZ now in a nice position. They're on the defense. It's all about converting to get the 2-0 lead.
First 2 kills for the side of Absolute Zero, but Elevate responds back with 4. Make it 5, make it 6. Back and forth 5. And it is now going to be the lives all equalized here. We are seeing a bit of effort here from the side of Absolute Zero to go for that extension because they want to get map control. But Elevate, they are holding every lane once again, and they're holding down those 1v1 gunfights pretty well.
You can talk about the weapons, you can talk about kills, but talk about Jibby here. 5 kills with a PDW. He is going to stick with it until the very end. It's just like a weapon where you'd think would act like a PP9 in Bison. They just ruined the pace of the opponent, I guess, because the fire rate of this weapon is actually insane to take a look at it in a micro level. But Elevate still back into the game with the A site being captured. 2 segments in, they got 2 operators sent out, and Halo is going to have the equalizer operating. And that's going to be enough for them to get that A site capture to extend that round clock to another minute.
Yeah, ring the bell. Big punch there from the side of Kalo. Susano waits up the claw. And it's going to be Kalo here putting a lot more efforts once again on this B control point. A is done. They can just go for the run out. Play for the elimination instead. They can absolutely do this. 2 operators can be available, but I don't think it's going to come down to the usage anytime soon off this very round. And it's just going to be Absolute Zero here back against the wall so far. I mean, every lane's going to be pretty much occupied once again. Generators alongside mid control, but it is going to be tough here when Elevate's going to be playing for the trade. Soon enough, this should be a round chalked here for the side of AZ. And it's just a matter of time questioning as well. When will Elevate go for the last and final punch down? Yato, Freezy, Hydra here left alone to be the clutchers of this very round. Freezy's able to get 1, make it a double. Lovely turn around. Yato finds Kalo out. Hydra as well. And they get a full clean wipe up against Elevate.
Oh, beautiful. But again, you're down to your last 2 players. You cannot remain imperfect. You gotta play it with incredible consistency in how you try to route out your attack. And right now, Yato's gonna get overwhelmed. He's gonna fall. Kalo's gonna get that kill. He's got 16. Highest on this lobby along with Yato. And I just going to be the last player remaining. And I guess we just gotta have to call it. This is it. Last player standing for AZ. It's a guaranteed win for Elevate. And the thing that they did best on this second round was to take down the operators that was invested by AZ on the first few minutes, first few seconds of that round number 2, and that in fact helped them stop a potential takedown on the spawns.
Well, classic hold and prolong of the round here for the side of Elevate because they were going to be charging their operators up, and I feel like that's going to be a really good call here from the side of Elevate. No, I mean, if you take a look at the top right feed here. AZ has 4 operator skills. So far, in this moment of time, there's going to be 3 as well for the set of Elevate.
It's just who's going to have the better operator here. Hydra and Kenny is going to bring out early just to take a little bit more kills and pressure around the map. But Hydra's not going to get any kill, but Kendi does. And Elevate's going to find the first 3 eliminations, and they're already at the enemy spawn. So this is not nice because PJ is on a nasty head glitch with an Annihilator in his hands. And AZ's just going to have to wrap around the bottom side of the map just to slow down the damage that they've already took in the first 30 seconds.
Finally, the first kill there from the side of AZ. That is going to be Rage, but PJ is going to be extended now with Annihilator. A lot of opportunities right around. Down, one guy down bottom ADM. 2 players coming from medical spawn as well. And look at the way the players from the side of Elevate is just gatekeeping the players from the side of Absolute Zero. 2 spree from the side of Yopi off the Hunter Killer drone. Make it a double once again off the Predator missile.
Yeah, Yopi 1 Kenobi. The force is just strong on him. And it's just AZ trapped at the spawns, and PJ's gonna have the high ground. Easy barbecue chicken for PJ. And AZ's life count is dwindling down, and this is the wrath, and this is the experience that Elevate has had. Right? All those losses that they accumulated and eventually becoming the world champs. They are not a team that will, fall down in these situations. This is where they're built. Diamonds are made on the rough. And right now, Elevate is showing them that they are the better team in this moment, right? When the pressure is there, Elevate getting it done.
This is one of those maps where it is truly momentum-sided. But where Elevate was able to counteract that very momentum that AZ was able to build up on the first round was truly playing the map better. Really good occupation for the certain lanes. And best believe it, they have chained that second round to the third as well. Can we see AZ put up a fight, or is it going to be an Elevate showdown?
You cannot allow yourself to lose the first 5-kill metric here again if you're AZ, but you're just getting stuck at the spawns. This has just been a repeat of what happened in the last round. Susano with the claw, finding so many eliminations and allowing Elevate to get one segment done on the A side.
You got 3 operator skill here as AZ. You got to take the risk. You got to take the shot. You miss everything that you don't really jump for. And unfortunately, the leap of fate is not really on the side of AZ. They're just getting trampled here in regards to the mechanical gunfights. Now, Yopi's turn here to take the show light. He is going to whip out that operator skill. Sparrow and Equalizer is going to be out. Kayla's going to be able to get 1 off Hydra. And on the feed, it is just painted in blue, painted in red. The Red Rebellion strikes once again.
Yeah, they're going undefeated in terms of the series counts right now, and KLO is just shredding them with the cheese grater. And you're giving away so much time on the A side, and there's only 1 player capturing it. There should be someone attacking there, but the pressure is just overwhelming, and Elevate continuously running on the enemy spawns. And when you get static spawns, if you're AZ, it's different to come by. And now you got PJ with the Annihilator. That is just the icing on the cake. Great job by Absolute Zero when taking the first map, keeping that map number 2 close. But history will repeat itself. Elevate will continue to take the wins up against Absolute Zero, and giving them a 6-win-0 loss in the series record up against AZ. This is the Red Rebellion that we know. This is the 2024 World Champions. They're gonna clean off every team that they get to face in this Arena Masters Season 8.
Yeah, Death Machine's going to be out here from the side of Yato. Freezy here extended towards enemy lines. ATM, eat the nade, go bye-bye. And it's now going to be Yato facing the fury of the wraparound there from the side of Elevate. Congratulations for still remaining flawless in regards to the series wins here of the Red Rebellion. Congratulations, Elevate.
And that's going to give them 2 points on the series points that we will have on the standings that we got here. And again, Elevate, they got themselves a little bit of a worry because they're clearly not 100% as they enter this event. And that goes the same thing for everybody in the tournament, right? Same thing can be said for Stalwart Esports, who had to play map number 3, round number 5, just to take that win yesterday on the opening matches. But Elevate still have shown their dominant face, right? Especially with Yopi, Kalo, and PJ. But they got a lot of work to do if they do want to defend the title for the 4th time.
I mean, one thing I like about Elevate is that they don't really have a repeat in regards to what's going to be the worst map. I know for damn sure Olay is going to be doubling time in regards to, fixing up and patching up that Apocalypse Hardpoint. So it's all really going to come down to the adaptation here in regards to the competition. You move in, AZ, there was a lot of times where we kind of, was holding it down to our seats because we kind of thought that, this is going to be the final game. A lot of great potential for this brand new squad with addition of Jibby here for AZ. So definitely going to be a team that will be having a bounty on their heads.
A lot of bounty on their head. Everybody's eyeing out for Elevate and how they would play. And it's just all about conditioning, right? I mean, you may have struggled on your first few games, but what matters is the long game. So you got to be able to make sure that your players are going to be on the right track in terms of conditioning their gun skills and the strategies around the maps that you're going to be playing, because there are new additions, some are returning, some are not, that you're going to have to learn. And the team needs to adapt, because the best survivor needs to adapt to become the champions, bro.
It'll be pretty tough here. I know a lot of teams are really looking forward to taking down Elevate. Absolute Zero was one step closer, but it was still yet so far when you saw the game number 3. The first round, it was pretty well done. I mean, it went down to like what? Both teams having equalized life count. A bit of an incremental lead there from the side of Absolute Zero. But they were able to just go for that barrage, consecutively pushing out to different lanes and was able to close it out. But Elevate got the reset on that round number 2. And unfortunately, from the rest of the rounds, it all chained into the favors of Elevate.
Yeah, for sure. Now, again, I still could have brought them to the point. I feel like we could have seen a control raid. I think we could have seen this team play a little bit better on that map because that's their strength. But we got the highlights ready for you guys. If you missed the action, come and check this out. History will be repeating itself here, Warden, as we got Elevate winning for the 6th time up against Absolute Zero since Garena Master 6 back in 2024. They still could not live up to their moment, and it's still not their time. But they did a great job at winning a map that they're particularly good at, which is Hardpoint Apocalypse, and shocked everybody. Winning a map up against Elevate on a Hardpoint, it takes a lot just to win it.
I kind of thought that Absolute Zero had this one in the bag because he got through the best game mode of Elevate, Hardpoint. You move over to Search and Destroy. Yes, it's not really a question how much Elevate can offer, but it is one of those game modes that remains to be a toss-up, which I thought Absolute Zero can actually, make the use of, but it didn't really happen. There was a struggle right there on the late game. And on control, I mean, it's not even a topic anymore aside from the first round. It was surely Absolute Zero able to claim their spotlight there, but the rest was just so dominated from the side of Elevate. You talk about the 5-kill metric, you talk about the operator usage, the gunfights, the way they were able to form up in every single bit of lane. It was a clearance there, a run out there from the side of Elevate.
Yeah, it is, man. And then again, I think that's one of the best factor that you gotta have to say, right? In control, you're gonna have to find a lot of value on your operator, and that's what Elevate had with PJ with the Annihilator. You also got Kendi with the War Machine, and even better, Kalo with the Equalizer. This guy spawn trapping the enemy all by himself. Then you got Susano Sparrow in there. Oh, it is just tough because the spawns and takeoff. It is sad. It's out in the open, and when that happens, you're just gonna have to accept defeat, or throw some stunts before you die.
If you
So your
can't
teammate
accept,
gets a kill.
you know, a wise man once said, if you can't accept defeat, you gotta deal with the hands.
Yeah, you gotta exchange hands. Woo,
Yep.
woo, woo, like Money Pacquiao. That shit, that shit, bro. That shit. Hey.
But-
Touch this.
Oh, Cali the Rizzler once again back in track in Garena
Nah,
Master.
nah.
But man,
Nah.
you know, if there's gonna be any team that could probably have beaten Elevate, I felt that it could have been really, you know, Absolute Zero. But
AZ.
hey,
AZ.
but
Yes, I
hey,
agree.
I got something here. I got something.
Okay.
You know, worth
What is it?
mentioning. If you talk about the qualifiers, AZ didn't come out flawlessly. It was a
yeah,
team
they lost.
named Ilinary. So
And who's on that team?
Whoopee, bro.
Yes. We're gonna take a look at that match later on, at that match number 4. We'll be looking at our post-match breakdown on this control and see what happened on the kills and the objectives. There is no capture whatsoever. In terms of winning the objective, I think in general, out of the 3 hard points that out of the 3 control maps that we got, Warden, getting a win through capture is the worst in control, right? I don't think it's possible because you'd end up, again, winning either to time expiration or through elimination. It's like TDM.
Yeah, I mean, it's really a truly applicable factor on a map of like takeoff. No, I think a raid better possibility, especially in how fast you can get through the B control point. And if you got that kitchen side control, then yeah, for damn sure you can definitely see a capture come in. But for crossfire and takeoff, nah, rely on those gun prowls because it just takes a lot of you know, positioning for you to be able to get those captures. And if you talk about elimination based maps, then hey, look at the score line, 117 to 84 in regards to the base eliminations.
That was a 2-1 win for Elevate. It's a 3-1 on the overall scoreline and a control takeoff. Absolute Zero, after winning the first round, they just could not get any value out of their operators. They all got shut down, and now we crown the champion, the MVP of this matchup right here. It is going to be belonging to Elevate EOP with 76 kills, a 1.23 KDA, an average death of 20.67, an average score of 3,342. That's pretty high. And you really don't expect EOP to be the top performer because all of the time it's either going to be PJ, Kendi, or Kalo. But it's nice to have the captain here leading the team when they were down, losing that first map, and eventually winning map 2 and 3.
You don't know how much trauma I get to see every time I hear or see the IGN in-game Elevate Yopi. When you're just trying to grind through ranked games and all of a sudden on the other side it's Elevate Yopi. Yeah, bro, that guy dropped a 70 bomb on me on Nuketown Hardpoint, and
oh man, you had yours too.
yeah,
This guy scored 60 on me. Hardpoint rate, it was 150 and 50. How'd you get 60 kills? How do you get 60 kills in just
150 points?
Engagements, what? 150 points. 60
Crazy.
kills?
Yeah, I mean,
Well, he was farming me though. I was 1 and 18 at that game.
bro, I wasn't able to get any frags at all, man. I was just trying to farm some clips, trying to put up some content here and there. But my man Yopi just said, "Hey, man, I gotta warm up, man. I gotta take this one away from you." And mind you, guys, fun fact for Yopi before we close things out here for this series is that Yopi was one of the players that was able to drop 15 nukes in 1 day, in less than 12 hours, and back in the early stage of the Low Kings. But hey, guys, enough of Elevate, enough of the players here for the side of Absolute Zero. Up next is going to be Ilinary up against Unk. This is Garena Masters 8. We'll be right back.
Okay.
Changing mag!
Press the button and the doors go up. That money clip us now, the new night looks like. Whoa, upgrade her diamonds, now her girlfriends are like. Whoa, 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 whoa. I hit record it, drop, you can't ignore it. I'm transforming now these cars and planes, I'm always boarding. Just out touring down in Charlotte like I play for Hornets. When I'm performing, never boring, now you can't afford it. Champagne Perrier, finish friends on my face. Looking like I'm from the D. D's no Cartier.
Welcome to Garena Masters Season 8. This time, we are raising the stakes with Mercy Veto, a new map bans and pick system that may just turn the tides of battle. Mercy Veto gives losing teams a chance to influence map selection, making matches more competitive and comebacks more possible than ever. Let's go over the best of 3 Mercy Veto process. The winner of the coin flip decides if they want to be Team 1 or Team 2. Team 1 bans 2 maps from the Hardpoint map pool. Then, Team 2 bans 2 maps as well. The game will take place on the remaining map. Team 1 will choose their starting side. For Search and Destroy, each team bans 1 map. The losing team of Hardpoint chooses the map for Game 2 from the remaining S&D map pool, and the winning team of Hardpoint will choose the starting side. If the series gets tied 1-1, the losing team of Search and Destroy chooses the map for Control. Since we only have 3 maps in the pool, there are no bans. The winning team of S&D will choose the starting side for Control. And that's Mercy Veto. More competitive, more comebacks, and more excitement.
Everything's just going wild and out here for today, man. I mean, so far, the most interesting thing that happened for today was that we were able to see Elevate drop that hardpoint game up against Absolute Zero, but you know, we don't really mention the rest. Their Search and Destroy Control really went to the hands of the Red Rebellion, but we moved on from that series. We're now coming in with Ilinary and the Unks.
I feel like this is going to be another big game ahead. I think it will have to be decided on map number 3 because of how tightly contested this match could be. But Ilinary has shown that they are capable of destroying the top teams in this competition, judging from what they did up against Stalwart Esports. But just had to play a map number 3, played a round number 5 where they lost out of operators. So I guess you're just gonna have to think about a better way for you to bounce back after that loss, Warden. On the flip side, if you're Unk, you do give off a great fight, but you're down by 2 series already, Warden. So if you lose another one, it might be hard to get the map. It might be hard to get a top 3.
Yeah, I mean, I think if ever you do lose another series here, you got to come out flawless on the next run and got to rely on the head-to-head comparison later on. But this is something for us to talk about in a few days or so. At the 23rd will be the last day of the group stage, so better make sure you guys will be on for that one, because that is going to be where we're going to be able to see who's going to be the last 2 teams that will be put into the chopping board. But now we draw things back towards today's schedule. We started things off with Absolute Zero and Elevate, which Elevate was able to get the final hit off on the Control takeoff. We move over towards Ilinary and Unk, and right after this, we got A&M Thanatos up against Stalwart Esports. We go back to Elevate and Ilinary on that game number 4, or series number 4, and last but not the least, we clean things up with a very interesting run of a match here. It's going to be Absolute Zero and Stalwart Esports. I can't wait to see some Jibby versus AG action.
No, you just mentioned it all makes sense. We're going to see, we saw the girlfriend and the boyfriend yesterday. Now we're going to see the brother and the older brother. Okay. But for now, we're going to see the super rookies go up against each other. Jerk, Gurk,
Gurk?
and Gurk.
Calling him a jerk?
Yeah, no. Elevate Buck. They're currently at number 1. We have the loss that Absolute Zero took, but they're still going to be remaining in top 3 to start our match number 2. So you're looking at Ankh and Ilinary that will be right ahead. And you just saw Ankh yesterday took a lot of damage. Ilinary fought, just lost out up against Stalwart Esports, but they were there, Warden, especially the S&D. 7-1. They took down Stalwart Esports 7-1. That's a godlike special right there.
7-1 on
7-0. Yeah. Vitality and godlike at that time. But I'm godlike. So did I just diss my own word? Am I in trouble?
Whoa.
Am I in trouble?
Wait, which word, Kelly?
Am I in trouble? Nothing. I don't know why I'm feeling blue right now. Am I a Smurf? I'm questioning reality right now.
Hey man, a lot of people was questioning reality when we were able to see that first match there.
Yeah.
With Elevate and
Yeah.
Absolute Zero. I feel like we're living in a multiverse of like how much things has changed in this Garena Masters Ace, the Return of Champions. And I can't believe this is only the second day here, man. We're seeing a lot of toss-ups already. We're seeing a lot of curveballs. We're seeing a lot of changed narratives. And I feel like we're going to be able to live on into that same, you know, change-ups here all across the board. So, guys, I'm excited. Everyone's excited as well. Callie, I know for damn sure you're pretty excited. So better make sure you guys are following and, you know, staying tuned in the Garena broadcast here for both YouTube and Facebook because things are about to get wild. Now, we've switched over to the map vetoes here for this series between Ilinary and Unk. Looking like we do start things off with a Summit and an Apocalypse ban here for the side of the Uncles and Ilinary. They took away Arsenal and Slumps.
Okay, so then the map would be... I feel like if you're going up, if you're Unk, and you just saw Ilinary loss up against Stalwart on Ascenda, that's going to be the map pick that you'll be playing. So it will all have to depend on which map they are going to be allocating here. Since we got Arsenal, we got Slumps, as well as Apocalypse and Summit band, it is Ascenda Hardpoint map that we're going to be playing, Warden.
Yeah, I mean, all eyes on that SKS there from the side of Whoopi was truly a pretty hard-hitting factor, especially on those hardpoint number ones. Given that SKS, he can definitely back it up with rotations as well and really good power position control. And it'll be tough, honestly. I mean, I remember back in the days when the SKS was pretty prominent in the competitive scene, you know, back in 2022, Lucasin was really a game changer in regards to the pacing of that SKS. So if I was Unk here, if you want to counter Whoopi of that Ilinary, you got to triple down those smokes.
The smokes are so essential in the current meta right now, Warden. I feel like the stunts, it's still going to be part, but it doesn't really do as much as damage as the smoke. So let's see if what's going to be happening here. Whoopi is still going to be playing with that SKS for sure. He's one of the best marksmen, the best sniper in the Philippines back then. But that's a thing in the past now. He is a demon still with that SKS, so he has punished so many teams with it. But Unk, they are pretty fast. So let's see how are they going to be playing here. It's going to be a good matchup, Warden, as well. For the super rookies, you got Ilan Gurk as well as Unk Tarks. These two players, you know, they kind of remind me of Irfan J and Jabin. If it is going to be a comparison, so let's see how are they going to be playing out as we enter map number 1.
Yeah, let's get it on. Ascenda we go. Series number 2 for today. Unk up against Ilinary. Opening things up here on this hard point.
P1 is all about taking control of the open. As you try to take castles, you're still trying to provide your team that amount of support in that P1. You cannot let anybody play that P1 without, you know, contest. Because if you grant any team that money hill on P1, guaranteed you're going to lose out on the map control as you enter P2. So it's kind of a snowball thing. So as much as possible, if you're ELN, you're just going to have to stack the point for now.
Yeah, I mean, it is still going to be a back and forth here so far. Finally, we do get to see some influence here from the side of Ilinary. Badman inside of the hill. Tokyo finds a shutdown. On the feed, Rex puts himself into the mixture. But Unk is doing really good here, just contesting the hill over and over again. And in fact, they might just be able to turn this one into a money hill, all because of the persistence that they're showing here inside of the hill.
Yeah, so much damage. 8 points for Elan. Only 36 here for Unk. Only 36 kills. Yes, 36 points. That is going to be sarcasm. If anybody is going to be playing Ascenda, things are already spiraling out of control for ELN, and they gotta make sure that they get the break on this P2 as they got the better spawn on this hill.
Yeah, a lovely definition here from the side of Ilinary. Whoopi here's going to be pushing up with an SKS, not really the best weapon of choice. Tark's here holding down the corner. Sprays down, finds the kill. Whoopi is out. Badman Gurk as well. And spawns are now going to be split apart now from the side of Ilinary. In fact, we do get to see some definition now here from the side of Unk. Never mind, still. Spawns are be splitting, but like, they're not really having a hard time at all here, bro.
Yeah, not really. They're actually doing great. I mean, you do have range if you're ELN. You got Whoopi with the SKS, but what Unk has is extreme fast movement mechanics. They got Tarks, Din, and Tokyo. That's going to be the triple towers, and they've already scored more than 25 kills to start off the first P2. And yeah, a money hill guaranteed for Unk on this one, and they already got the early rotation onto New. It's time for ELN to bounce right back up. They got themselves a couple of scrap points, got 51 points to bounce back on, and I think it only takes one hill to get right back in striking distance.
Unk now, once again, opening up the hill. And it's not just going to be that. There's going to be 5 operators going to be available now here from the side of the Uncles. Here we go. Can we see the investments come out? Well outside spawns here from the side of Ilinary. But it's not even going to matter at most, as we get to see it. No operator's investment. The Pretty will fly through. It's just raw mechanical gunfights that Unk is better at.
Yeah, it's just unfair. And again, you got Batman for ELN, who is supposed to become one of the best players in terms of slaying, but he's only got 4, off to a slow start. And the Uncles are utilizing their operators as much as they can to get more positioning and more points inside of the hill. Whoopi gonna bring out the War Machine on the opposite side, and they're gonna try to contest this as long as they can. And they're successful. They're finally woken up. Now we're scoring the scrap points yet again. Unks will be on the early rotation on the B4.
Done and dusted. Ilinary here. Gonna be able to get the scrap time. Not gonna be able to chop the lead to just half, or maybe right around there. But now the Hardpoint's gonna be opening up with, once again, Unk is just so better at in regards to rotation coming in. Tokyo's gonna be inside of the hill. 10 whips out that period fire. Whoopi Gurk reacts, waves their hands goodbye. And it is just gonna be Unk all over the feed once again. One more heave of contestment from the front. Gurk here trying to go for the contestment. Pushing in. Gonna go for the entry, but Tokyo from the corner shuts him down. And it is still Unk here getting really good definition.
Yeah, Tokyo is slowly heating up. He's got 4 in a row. And the Purifier just kind of wasted down ELN once again. And they are back at spawns, always cleaned out. 10 with another triple. It almost seems like every time we see Unks on the kill feed, they either end up with more kills or even more kills. There is no negative thing happening for Unks right now. Everything is going good. And the only thing that ELN will be having is always the scraps. That thing has to change. They gotta have to act better in terms of fighting the routes that they want to play inside this game. And right now, they're doing everything as they can to be in striking distance. Always taking the scrap points in this hard points on the first 4 hills.
You know, the narrative that's true here, Callie. You know, back then we used to see Badman alongside mids being teammates in Dovik and Oblivion. 10 and alongside Whoopi and Risky for the side of Smart Omega Esports. Tark used to play for the squad of the Unks, but looking at this, I mean, for Ilinary, but there's just so much things that could possibly happen here. A lot of statement to prove. And now we go back inside of this game here with a lot of investments coming through the hands of Ilinary. Tempest is out for the side of Rex. Equalizer comes in here from the side of Badman. But to be honest, in disregarding that, they're not really getting a lot of foothold inside of the hill.
And not a lot at all. And that's because you got Whoopi staying inside of that top 4. He's just playing like a center gun. Right, so you're going to rely on your other 4 players to play inside the hill. And again, a 4v5 inside of the hill, it is difficult to win. That's a number disadvantage, but right now they're doing whatever it takes to, again, get at least chips of these points just to get right back inside this game. And earlier it was a 50-point lead. They have cut that down to at least 40 points. They are a step bit closer now, but they gotta have to do better on this coming P2.
Eyes on the present now. We do get to see better spawns control here from the side of Unk. Tokyo whips out the Sparrow. There's going to be 2 players around the driveway. 2 as well here towards Whites. There's going to be a bit of an attempt there to try to wrap around from the side of Ilinary, but it's just not going to matter. Once again, deja vu, back to memory lane. It's the same old pattern here. It's just going to be Unk owning things down at the start of the speed 2.
Yeah, Tarks with the equalizer. This is going to be a big killing blow and a potential money maker, because right now they got their operators available and it's finding so much values. And ELN, what's happening? This is not the team that we saw yesterday. Up against Stalwart Esports, this is way worse than that on this Hardpoint as Shenda. Gotta have to wake up. Again, they came here in this tournament with them playing, becoming the #1 in the qualifiers, and they're just a little bit sluggish to start this first game. Maybe Hardpoint is not really their main thing, right? Still trying to earn their way back up here, but that lead grew even worse. From 50-point deficit now, it has turned into 70 points up. Unk are closer to victory than ELN.
You know, I thought that Ilinary was, bound to really take this one away from the set of Ankh, all because of how they played up against Stalwart Esports. In fact, it was a pretty interesting run from them. But looking at this, they haven't really learned from their mistake. And it's just going to be them here on the trail, inside of the hill. We go. Rex here sprays down, but 10 beams him down with a USS 9, and he's gonna be hopping inside of the hill. One more player, granted, risky, finds a double. It's a back and forth trade-off, but it's gonna be a better flow and rotation here from the side of Ilinary, at least for a moment or so.
Sin is going to have to play big here, but he's gonna fall down. ELN still stuck with finding the best spots possible, and Whoopi still sticking with that SKS. He's got a lot of kills with it, but again, you gotta have to play inside of the point, which is the most important factor when it comes to playing Hardpoint. And Ankh is just doing way better on it, with Din leading the charge with 34 kills, and Chroma is not that far behind with 31, along with another AR in mids, who formerly played for Scatty with 32. 108 to 180, and we're heading on to P4. Ilinary just gotta have to play the point, scrap that SKS, just get inside the hill. Batman finally able to wake up, and now are holding the early rotation on this P4.
Yeah, on a 5-3, Batman he goes, make it a 6. Equalizer can come in anytime now, but in the process of that skirmish in the middle of the map, the spawns gets flipped apart, and it is now going to be on the driver's seat. Gurk here has to make the play. Tark's inside, but Mitz is waiting for that machine. Perfect timing for him. And it is going to be Ilinary here once again on the back foot. Hip of contestment right there, and they take it right back.
And we got some operators to help them, but Batman is gonna fall down. There's just a big blow, but at least you got one more player to hold it down inside of the point and just get this contest and buy your team enough time to get inside of the hill. But gunfight-wise, Chroma has just been insane. This the same guy to drop a 50 bomb up against Stalwart Esports in the Hardpoint slums, and you gotta love it. That guy used to be an SMG, but has transcended to become a better AR player, and Ankh able to reach a 200-point mark as we approach the third P1 reset. Ilinary is just gonna have to make sure that they win this gunfights through hop up and also play inside of the point, because right now that's what they need to survive another hill.
You love to see it. You love to see it. Ankh now here on the final run to end off this very game. 210 more points here has been given to the side of Ankh. Ilinary, once again, same old-fashioned, no contention whatsoever here on this hardpoint number 1. It's a full-on clearance here from the side of Ankh. 2 operators available to come through. Whoopi here has to make the play. Equalizer comes out, shuts him away. And it is now going to be Ilinary having a really good entry point here for them to hop inside of the hill. Looking like we are about to see another hardpoint, but 10 wants to end off this game already.
Yeah, 6-3, another 50 bomb potentially in the making for Din. It's unstoppable. One of the best players in Sport Omega. In fact, one of the highlight last year and why they were able to reach Garena Master 6 Grand Finals along with AG. And here he is with his team just trying to dominantly win this Ascenda Hardpoint. They got themselves a great start. It's just all about finishing what they have started. And now it's just last 15 seconds that they gotta have to accumulate. ELN is desperate. They're running on a straight line, but Chroma with another operator investment. Good for 2 elimination. Ankh is staying inside of the point. The pressure is ever glowing. And Ilinary still trying to win the gunfight as much as they can, and they are successful with Whoopi finding 4 eliminations with the War Machine, Warden.
Massive War Machine there. Massive Death Machine there. Gurk, Whoopi into the mixture all over the feed. It's just the players of Ilinary. Can we see it? Can we see the start of the comeback here from the side of Ilinary? One more heave of contestment. Multiple pinches has been offered, and it's gonna be Tarks here clearing things apart. More than enough time for them to end off this game. Player 3, Whoopi, has to change the tides, but unfortunately he gets broken down. 2 players, Whites pushing in. Ankh, they survive. Ilinary pushing through the next hill. It's a foot race.
Batman is going to be running through the point. Just got to get yourself inside. Here he is hiding on the corner. Ankh are going to be forsaking their way through with the purest fire from 10 to end the game to score 53 eliminations. Ankh takes away a hardpoint match up against Ilinary, bringing it home with an explosive start and a better ending. What a game as we have here on our match number 2.
Really explosive, really consistent, stayed on the lead in the entirety of the game. And that is it. I mean, Tokyo, Chroma, Mids, Tarks, Tin, the Unks, the Uncles, they're able to run this one out pretty nicely. I mean, I gotta say, it was a pretty questionable performance there from the side of Ilinary, because they were able to offer quite a lot on yesterday's run on Ashenda, but it was totally a different look for today.
It is, and you're playing different play styles again. Star Wars esports, and it's also, you know, a little bit faster on the scaling Warden. So you could really say that in terms of playing the pacing game, in terms of playing inside of the point by means of pacing, how fast can you get inside of the point by stacking? It is unequivocally, it is Ankh that's way faster than Star Wars esports, and I think that's just the problem that you're gonna have to watch out for moving forward, right? I felt like what we saw from ELN at the end, Warden, where they were just continuously running inside of the point, could have been done a little bit earlier today, but they were very passive, and it did not pay off as they wanted it to be, and they'll take the first loss. And it does look like it's not their best game mode, right? I mean, they lost it back-to-back times now for the first 2 days, but they always make up for it with their search and destroy. So I guess that's where they start to find their opening in a series.
I mean, I'm pretty interested to see now what will be the offer in there on the search and destroy, because we were able to see Ilinary run things down yesterday, you know, on the Kurohana Metropolis. So there might be, you know, a switch up here and there, but for the time being though, like, this is a pretty shocking defeat for me once again. I mean, I know for damn sure that Ankh is truly a formidable team on Hardpoint, but not as much though. And I don't know if it's gonna be a factor where, you know, you rocking that SKS could be a matter of, like, you know, biting down the pacing. But clearly, in regards to the rotation, Ilinary was always on the back foot.
Yeah, they were. They're always finding the scrap time. I mean, there's nothing wrong with taking the scrap time, but you gotta be at least there on the first 15 seconds of the hard point, right? You may have lost out on the middle of the hill, but you're gonna make up for it on the scrap time, which is something that they did great, but they just could not withstand their pacing inside of the point. Gurk had a slow start, but Rex was killing it inside of the hill. Whoopi was taking longer distance shots, which is pretty effective and got him a lot of kills. But unfortunately, Ankh was just finding every time a counter against him. You can see that, you can see it on the replay that everybody was actually trying to smoke him off to not get as much skills, but he still got a lot of kills. Let's watch his highlights. We'll be right back. Yeah, man, it's just crazy to see what this Onk team is capable of. Their hardpoint has been pretty amazing. Well, apart from the match that they played up against Elevate, this match really emphasized that they are able to kill it on this game mode. And what way to wrap it up with Tin scoring 53 kills in this matchup. And yesterday up against Stalwart, Chroma had 50 kills, so anybody could erupt on this team right here. And the executions are way tighter than it is. So it's nice to have this team play to their strengths and finally take a map win.
I mean, you know, it was truly a, you know, the start of the, you know, broadcast yesterday. And I kind of felt that, you know, a lot of these teams, they were just on the verge of, like, you know, just testing the waters out and see what's going to be the evident problem. And my initial take here is that Ilinary, this is not the first time that they played Ascend Hardpoint. And definitely going to be second time now. And the pacing is just a bit too slow for my liking here on the desk. But, hey, Kansas went down to the pros once again, but if only they can really show up on Search and Destroy, then we're looking to be seeing a very promising team here, Cali. I mean, if they can really work on that hard point, or maybe that game number 3, and then right after that, you know, stay ever so consistent on the Search and Destroy, then Ilinary might just have that, you know, final answer to be in the topics of the top 3 teams here in this competition of Garena Masters 8.
It is kind of weird, though, to say that this team is the #1 team in the qualifiers, and they had to go through. They face Absolute Zero, they face A&M Thanatos, and yeah, it just seems like they do lag behind when they play in the hard point. Unfortunately, I mean, fortunately, the problem that they're going to be fixing is not going to be a major thing. It's just a micro detail that they just gotta have to adjust on for them to be able to bounce right back on the Tasha and the hard point. But yeah, talking about it, I felt like everybody had a slow start. Only Whoopi was kind of killing it at the start. Girk had 4 kills. Badman had 4 kills on the first 2 hills. So it was really alarming for them to not win gunfights at all, because that means you don't get any map control. And it showed on the scoreboard when we had 3 hills back to back be won by the boys of Onk, only giving away the scrap time in preparation for the next hill.
You know what's kind of shocking for me in regards to the performance here for the set of Ilinary? This was also evident on yesterday's run. Badman wasn't really the same Badman that we were also used to seeing, you know. On Hardpoint, earlier he was only able to drop 22 kills and had the most deaths of 52. I mean, he tried to back it up with hill time, but it wasn't even there at all. I mean, only 33 seconds, so if there's going to be anyone that needs to step up for the set of Ilinary on Hardpoint, has to be Badman here. Either has to, you know, stay alive and sustain the Hardpoint itself, or just be the Badman that we're also used to seeing.
Yeah, he's going to have to play a little bit more aggressive and smarter, right? I felt like they were just trying to play with their instincts and rather not with a lot of team chemistry on the start of the matchup. But yeah, there's room for improvement on this team. And it's just the first game that they lost. It's all about bouncing back, right? It's a best of 3 after all, but you gotta have to win the next map now if you're Ilinary. You may have lost the first one, it's alright. The SND, you were a little bit more stable on, comparing your statistics up against Ankh Warden.
I mean, I think we're looking at a very too strong team on Search and Destroy. Ankh yesterday, yes, they took that L up against Elevate, but they were able to nearly close, start things off in an overtime for the first series, but it didn't really happen. For the set of Ilinary, I think they have that slight incremental, definition on Search and Destroy. But now we take a look at the map vetoes. Once again, looking at the map bans, that is going to be a standoff takeaway here from the side of Ilinary. And if I take a look at the initial process here, I think they do take away Corona Metropolis, which will be forcing maps like Tunisia, Firing Range out in the open, and looking like we are heading straight to Tunisia.
Okay, I'm confused. Ilinary, this may be a great map. I felt like, honestly, you'd want to have a little bit more better map outside of this, but hey, we don't really know the ins and outs and the brains of these teams and what happens at the back end, right? But Ilinary, they do got amazing snipers. Got Whoopi in there, still capable of hitting shots. Now for Ankh, they got Tarks, who somehow played very well in Search and Destroy up against Elevate on the same map itself. So you'd want to look at the super rookies in here. And yeah, it's just about a matter of time for us to see who's going to be the better team on this S&D map. But for now, if you're Unk, you'd want to get a 3-0 on this matchup, while ELN, you'd want to take 1 point at least, but it's hard. You're going to have to bounce right back by winning this map number 2.
Yeah, I mean, you talk about Tunisia, you want to talk about the pacing and aggression, and I feel like the constant nuisance of Tin lurking around the map will be one big factor that Ilinary has to watch out for. Definitely in regards to aggression and opening things up, hands down snipers, bro. You can never neglect Whoopi with the scopes. So a lot of mid contestment might just happen there around A main or B. I mean, regardless of whatever lane you put him into, he can definitely serve the role that he needs to put up here to serve a possible respondment on the search and destroy. As we are now in transition to the game itself, if you guys missed out the action, Unk was able to dominate the Hardpoint Ascenda, and we're now currently at the precedent of Tunisia search and destroy.
Yeah, so let's see what's going to be happening here. ELN, they gotta have to play amazing. Girk has to be, you know, has to be activated. Gotta have to get that kills. While if you're Batman, you had a slow start on that first map, you gotta have to earn it up on this coming game up ahead. Now for Unk, it's just all about trying to win with your sniper here. Tarks is one of those players on the rise. Along there with mids, they're going to be the sniper duo. And on a map where it is going to be heavily relying on the snipers to get those first bloods, you'd need your snipers to do well. So let's see how will these two teams pair up. Right, the number 1 team in the qualifiers versus the number 4 team heading into this matchup right here. Right now, Unk has got that 1 point advantage. Should they get this, that's 3 points easy in the bag, Warden.
Yeah, they want this one badly. I mean, regardless, whoever wins here would truly, you know, help them bag up a bit more chances to actually make it to the next into the competition. But in regards to making it to playoffs, you know, only 2 teams does get chopped off from the board itself, so it's not going to be too much to ask there for any of these squads. But where do you actually want to be in, guys? Ladies and gentlemen, we did have an announcement yesterday, is that the Garena Summer Invitational will be happening pretty much just right around after Garena Masters 8. And the top 3 teams in this competition of GMA, the Return of Champions, will be directly invited inside of the tournament. So I know everyone wants to have a piece of that slot right there.
I mean, you want it. You also want to get the championship, right? You want to take away that crown against Elevate, who is currently the 3-time defending champion. The only team to ever do it. And if they won't be stopped, they're going to take 4. And in fact, if that momentum is going to carry over, that's a 6-speed already. They're Michael Jordan of the Call of Duty mobile history already.
Greatest.
No doubt. The greatest
Of all
team in the
time.
world. They
The
are
GOATs.
inevitable.
You know, and it's gonna be tough. I feel like, you know, if there's gonna be any team that's gonna be longing to have like the same run for Elevate, it might not even take like a year or so. It will take even more than just that. So hey, that could be a topic that we can see later on, but for the time being, all eyes on Ilinary alongside the Unks as we start things off here on Tunisia Search and Destroy. Here we go.
Yes, let's start it with Unk staying on the defense. Ilinary are going to play it passive on a 2-3 split as they start on the attack. And snipers, again, looking to be the only optional point. They want to play with their SMGs by throwing them under the bus, and that's Unk. Going to take them away. Early eliminations coming through. And that's a 3-1. Numbers-wise, it's not looking good for Rex. He's going to have to stay alive here.
Yeah, I mean, they know exactly where Rex is at. Was able to throw a few shots through the wall. Information's granted. It's just all going to come down to Rex and how persistent he will be to try to make the play. The nade flies by, only drops him to half. Stays alive. Still plenty of time to play with. A minute left on the clock. Bomb's going to be dropped there towards A main. And I feel like he can wrap back, maybe get a kill in the process, pick up the bomb, and maybe just toss it up in regards to whether does he want to rotate or not. But looking like he does want to go for another peep here. Has the bomb in line. Any moment of time, he can go for the pickup and could go for the reset.
Lively looking into this. 40 seconds left here for Rex to make a play. And you're just going to have to respect how Unk plays this. Right? There's no reason for you to contest and hunt this last player when you're on the defensive side. All you got to do is sit and wait for him to pop his to pop himself in front of you, and you're gonna get the kill. And that's exactly what happened. Ankh will be able to take the first round win. Very passive attack, very passive defense that they set up, enough to counter ELN, who directly attacked through the winery.
Ooh, 1-4 split here on the mid map. Actually, it's a 5-man hold here on this mid map. Looking to get the congestion, but it's just going to be Ilinary going for the same approach here. 3-2 split towards 2A main 3 winery. Sniper's going to come across. Rex finds a shot. No, never mind. Chroma doubles it down. Risky and Gurk is out. Ilinary just playing by a very aggressive pacing, but they're just going down one by one. Tarks finds Whoopi. Badman, Rex, all alone. It's just gonna be bad as man alive here on the shadows, and Tarks
Wow!
has a tree spree on the feed to shut down the players of Ilinary.
Oh my god. Darks just hit one and it became 3 eliminations straight. And that's the beauty of the super rookie from Ankh. The best part about it is he may be a rookie, but he's eligible to play in the World Champs. He's 18, he's that good. Now Ankh has set up a 5-man defense on the mid-map by sending out Tin on the middle to play Lurk. It is going to be pretty risky for him to be up there with Rex, but he does win the gunfight. And Tokyo's going to take the kill on double doors. So it's a 5v3 on the first 30 seconds.
What is happening here? Ankh is just dismantling the players of Ilinary one by one once again. No trades whatsoever. It's a 5v3. Push it up now. Clearance comes in. Mids, Tarks finds Whoopi Badman. And it's going to be Tarks once again getting the last blood of the round. Ankh up by 3.
It's just tough. It's just tough if you're ELN. You've lost so much momentum on the first map. And it's still carrying over on this first half of the Tunisia map that you're playing. By the way, is your map pick. It's just unfortunate for you to have to feel it this way. Now you're going to have to advance. You are going to get the first blood and the second. You've opened up the B side, and that is what's essentially just get that first round win. Put yourself on the board and work your way forward.
3 versus 5 could be finally the first round here for the set of Ilinary. Double chow right there towards the top side. Badman's holding down to the tower, able to get the information, gonna go for the spray, but he can't find a shot to connect. Badman, no, finally gets a trade. Now it's a 1v2 situation. Tarek, superstar, super rookie, here, all alone, finds Whoopi. Gonna be able to get the hit marker. One player's gonna be on the left side, that is gonna be the Rex. Ex-teammates, here, Whoopi, gonna go for the spray, looking to go for the chow, but gonna be taking the passive route instead. Spots Rex, can't hit the shot. And finally, Whoopi serves his team the first round win here on this Tunisia.
That's what a round that they need and a round that they get. Now that you've opened things up, you should be able to reset that timeline. Pushing on the A side could be the best bet here for this squad. But Ankh is going to do the same exact setup, I think, again, a 1-1-3. ELN's gonna push. This is not looking good.
Have they learned from their mistake? Once again, Tin's gonna be able to get the first kill. Badman's out. Chroma, Tin doubles it down, making a triple for Tin. Whoopi, bye-bye. Rex all alone, and Chroma is there for the trade. The uncles is running the show.
Oh my god. Ankh was hitting him like it was Andy DiGello. Oh my days.
Good old days.
Good old days. And the fact that Ankh did not really change their strat at all. It was either going to be a 1-1-3 split defending A, or it's a 4-man attack on the middle of the map. There's no defending B at all. But first blood now, it's going to be a favor for Ilinary as Kirk takes down mids. So one of the snipers are eliminated, and you're granted an opportunity to play for trades.
Started off with a bang. Ended off with a banger as well. Ilinary gonna go for the same approach. Have you learned from the same mistake? Have you learned? Have you learned? Chroma able to get the first kill. Badman is there for the trade. Bottom side control. Gert extends. Finds a shot. Tarks is out. Tokyo, 10. Here to go for the clutch. They're gonna be pushing up now, separately. One guy's gonna be hitting towards Zeg. One guy pushing towards ramp side. 10 checks out. Not gonna be hesitating to check the corner, but not gonna be able to find anyone off that. All eyes in Tokyo here to be able to push up towards the ramp side, crawling like a snake. If the timing is right, should be able to get the kill. Spots Whoopi. Check to the right. Gonna go for a spray down. Nearly finds 2. But Badman from the front, Rex from the top, able to shut him down. Finally, another round once again here for Ilinary as we switch the sides.
Yeah, Whoopi made sure that he gets that information and allowed his teammates to get that elimination. That was crucial. They needed that win. And now we switch the sides. Ilinary is going to be on the defense. See how is this going to play out. It's going to be a default 1-2-2 defense, heavily defending the A side. So that B is completely wide open, and it's only Whoopi to make a play, and he takes down Chroma. One more player in his face that he will not take elimination off of. Still gonna have to respect that range. That is Whoopi right there you're fighting against with. So they stick to the bomb. It's a 4v5 with 38 seconds to play for a retake for Ilinary.
Whoopi spots 2 information. Tin crosses back. Tokyo still committing to that corner. Gonna go for the spray. Finds 2. Good kill for him. Risky is there for the trade though. Sniper in line. Whoopi. Big shot for him. And now it's gonna be a 2v2 situation. Tin's gonna go for the cutoff. Baits and switch. Never mind. No switches whatsoever. Bomb's gonna get planted. They gotta move in quick. 15 seconds left on the clock. The Unk here has the best of all odds here. Just gotta play for the time. Whoopi taps the bomb. The rotation gets burned down. Tin goes out. Tarks is there for the
Play
trade.
time.
We gotta move in quick. Gotta move in quick. Play for the time. Big plays from the side of Tarks. Whoopi will be able to get the eliminations, but it's not gonna be enough. It's gonna be another round for the side of the Unks.
Yeah, and look at Whoopi, man. He is hanging up there in terms of the sniper battle. He's got 7. Tarks has 8. Damn, what is this guy eating? And who's feeding him? Is he's hanging off with this? Yeah, I mean, super rookie indeed. Beautiful plays coming from him in terms of fighting the mid kills or the opener. So reliable in terms of playing it here in Tunisia.
You know, one thing about Ilinary is that they were able to notably win a very interesting LAN event here in the Philippines, but totally different nature here.